And this episode of the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast is proudly sponsored by Draggin Bags. We talk about it every single week because they made us better throwers just by owning them. Being in their presence makes you a better thrower. So why don't you just hop on that old bandwagon and head on over to dragginbags.com and pick yourself up some heat today. Drop code BIGASP12 at checkout. It's going to save you 12% off that order. 12 whole percents. So take advantage now. Go over to dragginbags.com. Pick up your drops today. Code BIGASP12 at checkout.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the Big Ass Cornhole Show with Sean and Dane, the host you know, talking cornhole life and random fun. Grab a beer, let's get it done. Join the party, don't you hide. It's the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast time with Sean and Dane. It's always prime. Oh, with Sean is prime. From tossing bags to let's wild pride. Tune in and join the party, don't you hide. It's the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast time with Sean and Dane. It's always prime. Tossing back the life's wild ride. Tune in and join the party, don't you hide. It's the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast time with Sean and Dane. It's always prime. For Sean is prime.
All right, welcome back to the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. What's going on, man?
Not too much. Just, having some nectar of the gods.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to undertake this recording.
So ACL Teams season, ACL season in general is like
it's
right
here.
right around the corner.
Yep, there
few
we go.
Days away.
Right back into it.
Few days away. All right, so we have a lot to get into. Dane, do what you do best every single week. Let the folks know what we're drinking tonight in our favorite segment called What You Drinking?
What you drinking?
Well, I said nectar of the gods. So let's gosh darn Miller Lite.
Mm-hmm.
Can't go wrong. It's a great Monday night beverage while you're watching some foosball. So figured I'd bust them out for our recording here this evening.
Thanks, Dane.
No problem.
Well, folks, we have more audio gold planned for you as always. This week, like we said, this Saturday is going to be the first open. They're going to be doing the ACL Teams Draft. So we're going to do Teams deep dive.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do my best to get involved in teams this year. I want to try to follow it along. So we're gonna make our predictions. We're gonna go over all the new format stuff. Make our predictions on who might get picked. We'll go over draft order, all that kind of stuff.
Beautiful things, Sean.
Do have a dramatic reading.
Ooh,
and then we're gonna be joined by Team Swag Bags. Okay,
swag.
Chauncey. All right, and ACL rookie Tylar Stratton are gonna join us, and Tyler's gonna announce his new pro partner,
his buddy,
his
new
pro bestie. All right, but before we're gonna do all that, we're gonna let you know what's going on in our cornhole lives in a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Okay, so
what'd you do, Sean?
After we recorded last time,
yeah,
I was like knocking on death's doorstep for like 4 days.
Yeah,
dude,
and it took a turn real quick for you,
dude. I woke up Tuesday morning and I told my wife, I'm like, I might go to the clinic.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I don't go to the doctor. Right. Mm-hmm. And she's like, seriously? I'm like, I don't know if like I just fell asleep. Maybe I like with my mouth open, I was snoring, but like it was just a little sore. It wasn't enough to like really complain about, but I've had strep throat a bunch in my life and it just kind of worried me. And my daughter had it a week and a half ago. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's just in my head.
You started polishing the doorknobs.
Fast forward. Fast forward. I'm just going to skip right past that. So fast forward to like 11 o'clock. Talk to my wife. I'm like, I'm not going to go. Like, I'm feeling fine. I took Advil. Like, my throat's better. Like, we're good. We're good. And then probably 15 minutes later, after I hung up the phone, I started getting the chills.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm not good. I'm
Oh,
not
damn
good.
it. So I ran over, got the test, sure enough.
Yeah, you're like,
strep. By 1 p.m. that day, I was full blown like 102.5 fever, just like miserable. And I'm like, I have to stay till at least 3:30. And there's this lady I've been trying to give this brace to for like 3 months, and she kept canceling. I'm like, I got to get rid of this fucking thing. So I
need
sucked
her
up.
money.
That drive home was the most miserable experience of my life.
Nothing's worse than knowing you're sick and you have to drive home like from work.
Dude.
There's been several times that I've like had to pull over and like yarf in my car driving home if I like got sick at work before.
Dude, it's rough.
One time I had food poisoning from a food truck that we had ordered.
From a food truck.
Yeah, and it was like half our workforce was like KO'd. It was bad.
That's
but,
nasty.
That's
Anyway, so crazy. We don't bring them
different
back anymore.
story. Still have food truck Wednesdays, you know.
But so I finally started feeling somewhat human again. Like I would say I was probably 80% on Thursday.
Yeah.
Because Thursday night, you and I went to go see Tom Segura in Cleveland.
We did, sir.
And what a great freaking show.
Dude.
If you've not seen,
what a treat.
If you haven't seen stand-up comedy before, like live, you gotta
All right, so first off, arena show. I was skeptical. Awesome.
fine.
They put on a great show.
Oh yeah.
Secondly, arena show. Cheaper seats.
Mhm.
Like no brainer.
Yeah.
It was we had good seats in my opinion.
Yeah,
great
great seats.
I mean, again, you don't need phenomenal seats for a stand-up comedian. You've seen him 1,000 times before. So yeah, it was to me like I would 100% go to another stadium comedy show.
Oh.
I recommend it to anyone because honestly, if they're doing stadiums,
Yeah.
they're funny.
Oh yeah.
Like,
It was.
duh. But I think stole the show though was a new favorite comedian. I can't even remember her name though. It's something Jansen.
Yeah. Correct.
What's her first name?
I can't remember.
Hang on. Hold please. Oh my god, of course it went away.
Always does that.
Yep.
This, as you can tell, like this is
It's off the
this
cuff.
is kind of
here,
this is
folks,
kind of
so
like
this is what we do.
This is why we don't talk before we record.
Yeah.
We're like, let's just turn on the mic.
Jordan Jensen.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Yes.
She killed it. She was the opener.
She murdered it to the
Yes.
point where like I felt like the Tate, and was it Andrew
Tate, yeah.
I felt like he was nervous going up there because she murdered it so hard. So
Yeah.
but then Tom Segura definitely brought it home.
And then this weekend you were up for Pumpkin Fest.
Yes, went to the great Pumpkin Fest out at Southern
And you
Tier
didn't bring
Brewing.
anything back?
It's not that kind of festival.
Okay.
This is you consume there.
Okay.
And that is like an understatement of the century because you consume a lot there.
So what was your favorite? Still
All right, so they had I didn't have a caramel out there.
Oh, okay.
So they had 3 new exclusive flavors.
Okay.
They had butter pecan,
Okay.
maple,
Okay.
and chai.
Was butter pecan just awesome?
Didn't like it.
Really?
It was way
Okay.
too buttery.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maple was phenomenal.
Okay, I can see that.
And then my favorite was the chai because
Of course
I
it would
love
be.
the chai tea pumpkin, and this was just straight chai.
Okay.
Like I loved the taste of chai. It was very strong chai, so there's no way that's going to win the taste
Just when we thought
challenge.
he
But
was gonna go straight on us, folks.
I just I don't drink chai tea ever, but I just like the flavor of chai.
Okay.
But close second was definitely the maple. But
I don't even think I could tell you. Like, you could give me chai right now,
yeah,
and I would not be able to tell you.
I think you'd
like,
enjoy
oh, that's
it.
the taste of chai.
I think you'd
Like,
enjoy
I
it.
couldn't even begin to tell you what it would taste like.
It is a unique flavor, but I think you'd like it.
Crazy. Saturday, I went to, my daughter had a birthday party to go to.
Oh, nice.
Awesome, right? But this one was at, remember old Laser Extreme, Middlebrook Heights?
What?
So it's upgraded now, right?
Yeah.
So it was there. So I was trying to explain Nora. Like,
Did you go and play?
Hear me out. Let me
Okay.
tell, I'm building up to
Sean,
this
all
moment.
right, I don't have time for this stuff.
So I'm telling Nora on the drive over, like, what laser tag is. She's a little confused. I'm like, it's kind of dark. It's going to be like, you're going to have this gun and you just point the gun and just press the trigger. And just like, if your lights go off, just run away. And then as soon as your lights turn around to shoot anyone else with lights.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of and then you can watch them on screens. So me and Todd are watching AJ and Nora go through the first time, and I could just tell right away she's miserable. She finally finds an adult, and so like just standing by the adult the whole time. So she comes out, and I could tell she's crying, and I felt like such a dick.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't know if like parents were supposed to go in or not, and like only like the dad of like the birthday boy like went in. So I'm like it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So she came out and she's like, they did teams and I couldn't find anyone. And like all these boys that were like older were like ganging up and like, they were just like surrounded me. And like every time I light, like they were just like shooting me. And she's like, and I started crying and then they finally ran away. So I'm like, all right, I want you to point these kids out to me. And there was 2 birthday parties going on at the same time. And we'll call them Red Team. Okay. Red Team had typical like dad who is probably a prepper. All right. Loves this stuff, like lives for this stuff. And all the boys
Did he wear cargo camo pants? Okay.
I shit you not, Dane.
Spot him. Yeah.
I shit you not.
Bald head, goatee?
No, he had hair, but
right.
I was shocked it wasn't braided or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough, because next question was either bald or long.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know if those are in between there.
So, and like all the boys there were probably like between the ages of like 10 and 12.
Okay.
All right, so a little older. This was a 7-year-old birthday party. So you can imagine like size difference and everything. And I was with a ragtag group. And I hadn't been in there in 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
Gone into like laser tag. So the first time I go in there, just kind of feeling out the layout and stuff.
Did you remember any of the bonus shots? Did they have any of those?
No, they took that away. So it's straight teams event.
God.
It's either every man for themselves or it's teams.
Destroy that shit.
I know.
We know all the crystals to shoot.
I was trying to tell
bonus points and all this stuff.
So we go in the first time. We get annihilated, right? But I didn't realize that there was a second story. And I would walk in this one room, creep around a corner. I kept getting shot. I'm like, where the fuck am I getting shot from? And I finally look up. I'm like, I'm like, Nora, how do we get up there? She's like, it's up those ramps, but it's kind of steep. And like, I wasn't trying to do that.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's dark.
So I'm like, all right. So we ended that match going up there, circling. Dane, game 3, I pulled all the troops in. I'm like, listen, we need some teamwork here if we're going to try to win this thing. And I told Nora, I'm like, you're going to stay right on my hip. And I'm just going to tell you which way to shoot. And I just want you to shoot. And we fucking dominated. It was so much fun. The one dad was like a camper. Like the one, like the loser dad was like hiding around the corner. So the first time, like he got me, I'm like, are you seriously camping? What a fucking loser.
Yeah,
like,
I play COD.
Yeah,
I know what camping is.
God. But it was fun. It was, took it way too seriously, but I loved it. I told Nora,
those are the best moments.
So
though.
Nora, you got to understand, like, if we're going to do this, we're going to win. And if we're going to win, like, you're going to see a different side of dad. So just stay on my hip. All right. I don't want to lose you. So just aim. So I took first overall. She took 6th.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm like, Nora, what's going to happen is I'm going to shoot them. They're going to go blank. And we're going to kind of go by them. As soon as they light up, fucking
hit them again.
Yep.
But yeah,
double tap them.
Taking it a little too far is like my wife's family's like MO.
Yeah.
Like every family game we play, like it goes.
I love that though.
Yeah, it gets intense. It's really funny.
Like our wives sometimes, or like at least my wife gets a little uneasy with it. Like when she plays game with like me, you, and Dad, I'm like, you just have to understand, like we're still going to talk to each other after this, but in the moment, like I want to beat them. It's
funny in that dynamic because there's a lot that aren't very athletic, and then there's a few that are athletic, and then there's like me, and then they're like, yeah, Dane's like the sneaky, really athletic one. So like I'm always the first one picked in anything. Like pickleball, I'm always the first one taken. Kickball, first one taken. Every single time, and they're just like, all right, whoever gets Dane is usually going to win. So draft Dane, and then we'll figure it out from there. I have always had teams of like all the girls and little kids.
Yeah,
we'll still win. I mean, dominance.
That's the best.
But they get so angry.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
but I can understand the intensities. I had just no golf, no cornhole, nothing this week.
Really?
Just a relaxing weekend. Went out to the lake and kicked it. It was good.
Sorry, 1 second.
And then coming up, I do have golf planned. Speaking of which, can you golf Sunday morning before foosball and whatnots?
Possibly.
Okay.
Val might be working, so if that's the case.
Well, let me know. I was going to go a little bit later because one buddy Adam was going to join. So
okay,
we'll figure that out. So you guys get to hear our plans and everything in real time as we talk about it. But all right, I think that's enough about us. So we, I guess like Teams Draft is here.
Yes.
Open 1 is here. So I guess the ACL postseason is just donezo.
Yeah. So there was a big. I want to give a shout out to the cornhole cobbler. All right, he gave me the whole rundown. It's not gonna fit in this episode. So I promise you, we're gonna get to it. We're not skipping over it. So, anyways, all right. So ACL team stuff.
Yes.
season's starting this year. I don't know if they're doing like that rookie combine or again. I know they tried it out last year. I haven't heard anything about it.
I haven't heard either, but
it wouldn't surprise me if they had it.
Is it necessary?
I mean, it does help some of like the unknown guys that might be really fucking good, like to be put on a radar.
Yeah, I just feel like in the community's so small now that there's not really anyone that's gonna blow it out of the water that we don't already know their name of. Right?
Yeah, is the teams draft? I
think it's Friday.
I think it's Friday as well. That's what I was going to try to look up here.
Yeah, I think it is Friday.
It says this weekend. So, I thought I saw something for Friday. But all right, so each team, so there's 16 teams again. That is not changing at all. Just like last year, each team is allowed to have 2 captains. They have a main captain and a co-captain. The main captain is not allowed to be traded. The co-captain is susceptible to being traded.
Okay.
Along with those co-captain, each team is allowed to keep up to 4 players. And then the whole roster itself. So they'll start most teams are every team starting with 6. And then they're going to fill that roster with 6 rounds in the draft or less, depending on trades and stuff like that. And we're going to go over that in just a second. So they're going to end this with 12 people on their team. They can roster up to 15.
All right.
They can roster up to 15. They have to have at least 2 women on the roster. And one of the women has to play in the format, all right, in each match. And you can only roster 1 elite player at a time.
Okay.
All right, so that's all like the kind of the nitty gritty. Like,
so you have to have 9 pros at least each time and only 1 ACL elite.
The ACL elite doesn't have to play. You can only have 1 ACL
on your roster.
On your
okay,
roster, correct.
I got you. Okay.
You can have up to after the draft.
I thought you meant you can only have 1 start.
Correct. You're going to have 12 people on your team after the draft. You can add 3 more and get up to 15.
Gotcha.
But again, at the end of the season, payouts and all that kind of stuff, that's going to matter.
Yeah.
So going into this season, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to have a draft. They're going to have a snake draft. So why don't we go over the order real quick? We scroll down just a little bit.
Alrighty.
So the draft order is first pick is Michigan Marauders. Then you have the Virginia Cutters, the Georgia Sliders, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The California Slingers, the Chicagoland Spinners, the Texas Bullybaggers, the Colorado Timber, the Pennsylvania Ringers, the Kentucky Colonels, the Ohio Aviators, the Arizona Burn, Las Vegas
High Rollers.
Very good, Dane. Carolina Coasters, Missouri Maize, the Florida Freeze, and the New England Woodchucks. Correct. Okay, so what I did was they
hold up. St. Brown just threw you a touchdown. 2 golf.
Thank you.
Look at that. That was just roles reverse. That's funny.
I needed that.
That's funny.
If you were listening on Patreon or you happen to watch our video and you caught that early rant like about fantasy football, like I apologize, but it's been a rough year for your boy. And I have Goff, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I have Metcalf in this game. And I just needed some magic, and we just had some magic. So all right,
that was a fun little play.
Piecing it together. All right. So anyways, they announced the pro list just yesterday.
So I had an idea of us just reading off every single pros
all
list
218
in this episode. Well, no, then you have to include the juniors, the seniors, and the women's.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. So there is some overlap, but yeah.
So long list.
ACL Pro list this year, and we've talked about it before, but they're going to have the ACL Pro division that went out. 218 applications went out. Mm-hmm. There are some people that haven't signed. I'm assuming there's going to be probably some attrition, but it seems like 218 is where they want to be at.
I think you're right.
So whether they fill that right away with an elite player or they're just going to kind of leave that spot open, 218 seems to be about where it's going to be at.
Would it make a difference if they would just, because like if they're backfilling with elite anyways, why would they fill it with an elite player?
Yeah.
Right?
All right. Yeah, so I mean they're only keeping 45% of the players from this year in that pro circuit.
Yeah.
They also have a ACL women's pro circuit. They have a senior pro circuit, and then you have a junior circuit. There is some crossover in each of those. Yeah. So if you're one of the 218 and you qualify for one of those other divisions, you can then also be eligible for that.
Indeed. It's gonna get easier next year, I feel
So
like,
the main reason I bring that part up is because in this draft, you're only allowed to roster one elite player.
Yeah.
But every other one of those pro divisions that we just talked about, whether it's the pro, you have the women's, seniors, or juniors, you can draft any individual out of any one of those groups.
Yeah.
And there's no limit. Only you have to have at least a minimum of 2 women. All right. So that is going to come to play. So I was looking through the team constructs of who I think it's kind of smart. Like, let's start with who each team is keeping first.
Yeah.
All right. So go and pull that up first.
Here we go.
It's going to be
Oh, is this back up here?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, this first one. All right, so we're going to start it off in the American division in the South. You have the Virginia Cutters. The captains of this team are Logan Chamberlain and Justin Stranger, and then they're keeping Leston Allen, Jacob Gore, Sammy Soto, and Lexi Hugeback. Initial thoughts on just the core 6 people going in there, like entering this draft.
I mean, love the captains. Name power isn't quite as strong as some of the other teams we have coming up. I think it's smart that they kept 1A female.
I completely agree with that. I think that as a core 6 players, this team has no business finishing in last place this year.
I agree.
I'm going to put it there.
Yeah.
So if especially with this new format, we'll go over the format after we go for all the teams. But with this new format, I mean, you're getting to put out 6 studs every match.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's like you got to put up or shut up now. Like, you have the talent there. You have six out of your 10 players, and then you're going to have a top 2 pick. So, you know what I mean? So you're going to add 7 players out of those 10 are going to be really, really good players.
They should be able to
do something.
win some stuff.
Next team down is Florida Freeze. Captains are Alex Rawls and Matthew Sorrells. And then the returning players are Cheyenne Bubenheim, Blaine Rogier, Alan Rawls, and Chris Kingsbury. Now, that is what we like to call Murderer's Row.
I was going to say the exact same verbiage and everything.
Man, that is a really tough team starting off the bat. And then there was a trade, and we might as well go over the trade right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
The Florida Freeze, along with those 6 players we just said, you can add in Fisher Hamilton.
Yes.
All right, so you add in Fisher Hamilton. That is a really strong 7 players.
Now, do they... So that works, though, that they get to keep him and not cut anyone else off of this list?
Yes, because
Prior
they gave
to the
up draft picks.
Okay.
So they traded him for their first and second round draft picks.
Gotcha.
So the Ohio Aviators will have Florida Freeze first and second round draft picks.
Okay.
All right. So then we go down to, right now, Florida Freeze on paper to me, with Fisher Hamilton added to this group, I mean, that is a really strong start right there. It is. It's on paper again, but that's why we play the matches, right?
Yeah.
Is it smart to go over the format now? Like, does it make sense? Like, as we're breaking this down, like why we think it's smart?
I mean, you want to just stop right in the middle?
Just real quick. So format stuff. I know it's kind of crazy, but I guess I should have done this before. They're changing it up. It's no longer just a bunch of doubles matches round limited. You are now having 2 singles matches, a doubles match, a tandems doubles match, and then a crew cup match.
Sean, what's tandem doubles?
So if Dane and I were playing as doubles team, we would throw on the same side of the board each time. So it's basically crew cup is just half. And you just walk back and forth.
Well said.
So I think that just looking at having 7 people already, right? You're basically just the rest of the people you're picking up is like, hey, can you play crew cup?
Yeah.
Can you handle, because it's round limited. So really, if it's 12 rounds, so can you handle throwing 12 bags?
Yeah.
A match? Like, that's what we're all asking you.
That's all we're asking.
I mean, that's a really good start right there. So, All right. So the next team up is the Georgia Sliders. The captains are Ryan Smith and Cameron Belvin, who, interestingly enough, she's the only female captain.
Okay.
Returning players are Ryden Wiedenfeld, Terry Mathis, Bobby Hunt, and Trey Hunt. Name power alone, what I find interesting is they have already 2 elite doubles teams there.
True.
Right? Or what you can do is you could always have Ryan Smith and Ryan Weedfield. They could be your two singles guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested. I mean, you could have Kevin Belvin playing singles as well.
Well, see, that's where I think like the format kind of plays into it, because maybe in this case you attack that first. I don't know. Maybe you attack that very first person as a singles guy. You know,
because I think as a
just
captain,
really good at singles.
You want to have at least some idea of like, okay, this is who I'm feeling as I want as my doubles team.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Hunt and Trey Hunt have played together before. They've had success before. It makes sense to me that like they could be. I would think probably they're doubles, not necessarily tandem.
Yeah,
because at least that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think in singles, then you got Wiedenfeld and you got Ryan Smith, or you could just have them as you could go tandem with those two.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there is some variability with some of this stuff. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think that their first pick is important here.
For sure.
Like, I think they need some firepower in this lineup, but again, Terry Mathis is no slouch either. Mm-mm. I'm just trying to figure out, like, I think if they add one more piece, they're going to have a lot of
the sneaky singles guy, to be honest with you.
I think with Ryan Smith being a captain, if you add one more really good player to this roster, it gives you a lot of variability and a lot of like, you can change up these ideas and like just try some stuff out early and find out what works.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
All right. Last team in this, in the American South is the Carolina Coasters. The captains are Jamie Graham and Eric Davis. And the returning players are Frank Modlin, Tommy Slicker, Chad Hunt, and Berkeley Pear. Now, to me, it's super interesting. I think that right away you keep Hunt and Slicker together.
Yeah,
because they had such an amazing season last year.
They put together a phenomenal year.
You just make that's your doubles team.
Yep.
And then you got Graham, who could play singles, I would imagine.
And then Davis probably that plays singles.
I would imagine so too. And then you could even have Berkeley Pear and Frank Modlin as like your tandems. Or if it falls at how I think it's going to, and if they end up drafting like Trevor Brooks in the first round, you could put Berkeley Pear and Trevor Brooks as a tandem.
Yeah, just talking trash that close to each other, right next to the other team. Right? I mean, that would be entertaining.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a mental game. That's a nice little
start. And then
Frank
Modlin can just be the captain of Crew Cup and be like, just follow me to victory, boys. Let's go.
Correct.
I like it.
Right? It kind of just falls in line like
this
that.
is the first team name power-wise that I think comes close to Florida Freeze.
For guys that know their stuff, yes, I would agree. Because a lot of people would look at like Chad Hunt and Tommy and no shot at them at all. But like they don't get enough love for how good of a season they have. I'm looking at this. I completely agree with you. I think like on paper, they would probably be second to Florida.
For sure.
Now I'm interested. Who would you put third? Would you put in this division? Because again, only two of these teams get to make the playoffs.
I know.
So this is a tough division. So who would you put, Cutters or Sliders over?
I mean, I think at the start I'd probably put the Cutters.
Okay.
Just because I think Sammy Soto coming into a sophomore year, Jacob Gorey another year older, and then Logan Chamberlain's only gotten better.
I think this team is going to look so much different with their first round pick.
Yes.
Because it's got to be Jackson Gore, right?
Yeah.
If Virginia Cutters pick Jackson Gore, then you have Jacob and Jackson Gore who could either play tandem, they can play singles for you. I mean, that's just right there. That just blows it open to me.
Then you could also have Soto Chamberlain be your tandems or anything. I mean, they could clean each other. I was actually thinking,
I think you go Chamberlain and Soto as your singles.
With this core, this is what my thought was actually. Stranger Allen as the tandem. Yeah. And then you have Gore Soto as your doubles team. Chamberlain and maybe Lexi as your singles, but I would probably use that first pick to try to get your solidified.
I think if you're taking Jackson Gore, you were saying Jacob Jackson, you're going to play doubles together.
Well, again, if he's there,
he's going to be there. They have the second pick overall.
I know if he's there,
he's going to be there.
I'm Sean. You can't predict the future, or did you already spoil it?
I'm not spoiling anything.
Can you tell me so I could put some money down on my Vegas picks?
Like if they have picks on this, then I need to know about it because I would like to place money as well. But yes, we'll get to this. All right, so that is the South, American South.
American Division South.
All right, so now we're going to go to the American Division
North Division.
The New England Woodchucks. Captains are Jeremiah Ellis and Jimmy Humans.
Never heard of her.
Returning player, which one?
Both.
Returning players are Alec Ryan, Zach Scheibner, Hunter Thorson, and Jacob Trzynski. It's a really good starting team, man. Like that's, I mean, again,
It's kind of a hodgepodge, though.
You have a lot of variability. I was kind of thinking about this earlier. I think that right away you have Ellis and Trzynski as your singles guy. And then you let Humans pick who he wants to play with. But I think stylistically, I think Scheibner and Ryan kind of play well, right? And then you have Humans play with Hunter as a tandem or whatever route he wants to go. But yeah, I think it's a very good starting point for them.
Yeah, I mean, I like their start. Again, there's a lot of ways I could see their team
we are
working.
forgetting one person. They did add somebody. So they traded a second and third round pick to Kentucky for Ryan Hart. So you're all of a sudden you're adding in your Ryan Hart again. So to me, this changes all of a sudden. So if you add Ryan Hart on this team, I think you probably put Ellis and Hart as doubles, and like that's just hey, we got this.
Yeah.
And then you can put Trzynski and Humans as your singles, and then Ryan and Scheibner as your tandem.
As a tandem.
I mean, again, that's a good start, right?
Again, like I look at their team and I feel like there's a million different combinations that you could actually have work.
Yeah, they have adding Ryan Hart there, and first of all, Kentucky. I mean, Jesus Christ, make him work for it.
I
mean, Ryan Hart not worth a first round pick. Are you fucking serious right now?
Yeah, the last 2 seasons he's had. Come on now.
I mean, and no shot at Fisher, but like Fisher got a first and a second.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, tip of the cap to you, Trey Birchfield, for that trade. I mean, that's great. I mean, you got the value. I think getting Ryan Hart for a second and third was an absolute steal because then they still have a pick in the first round.
Exactly. So they're going to come out with 8 right off the rip, and then
and we'll touch on it when we go like through our predictions. The next team up is Michigan Marauders. The captains are Jordan Power and Jeremy Schermerhorn, and the returning players are Joe Neistat, Sarah Cassidy, Jaden Ellis, and Empher.
Again, I like this team too. Smart of them to keep Cassidy. Again, Woodchucks were the only one that didn't keep a female. Oh, and Coasters.
And the nice part is with Marauders is Jaden Ellis is now he signed his junior pro card. All right, so he's going to be competing in the junior, so he doesn't lose his college eligibility.
Okay, so he did officially sign that?
His junior.
Okay,
yes.
Because there's still like an asterisk.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be doing it from what I've heard. So he's going to be doing just the junior, so he can still do the whole college stuff, which is an awesome opportunity for these guys.
For sure, absolutely.
So for him not to be counted as an elite player is awesome. Again, just you got Schermerhorn and Neistat. Yeah, you got to either do tandem or double with those two.
Yeah,
you got Jordan Power, you got Jaden Ellis has got to be your singles guy, and then I'm assuming probably Power as well.
Yeah.
Now, interesting. They have the first pick in the draft.
For sure.
There's an individual that's no longer on a team because he left last year, but now he's coming back. His name is Air Rubin, or Jay Rubin, as you might know him as.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Jay Rubin's probably going to be the first pick in the draft. If that's the case, all of a sudden, then you have 2 powerhouse doubles teams. Right? You have Jay Ellis as singles guy. I mean, you're adding Jay Rubin. He can be singles. He can do doubles with Jordan Power. You have Jordan Power and Jay Rubin play singles for you. I mean, they're setting themselves up very nicely.
Yeah.
I like their core of 7 guys because Empher, again, is very underrated.
Oh, for sure.
I think you could put Empher and Sarah Cassidy, and I think that their styles,
honestly,
I think they could play great together.
Like, to me, tandem.
Because they used to be pro partners, did they not?
I think they were, yeah.
Like 2 years ago. I think that just works out very well.
Yeah, and I think they, like you said, stylistically, it makes sense.
And I think you just tell Jaden, like, hey, you're going to play singles for us.
Yeah.
So we'll figure out who else is going to play with you.
Hey, do you mind grabbing me a beer?
Sure.
Appreciate it.
You want to read off the Ohio
Of course.
Aviators?
Ohio Aviators are up next. Captains, Noel Manza and Trey Birchfield. And then their returning players are Gavin Cano, Fisher Hamilton, no more, Bella, and then Carson Getty.
So this is where it gets interesting for Ohio, is that you trade away Fisher Hamilton,
yes,
but you get a first and a second for him. So it just means that you got to nail like this first
your
round.
2 picks, yeah.
Yeah. If you can replace Fisher with 2 people that you feel like can truly contribute, and you're going in and you really like your core 7 guys, then I'm okay with it. It's tough to look at this because with Fisher on that team, they're one of the better teams, I think.
For sure.
You already have the female box checked with Bella, who is super versatile. She can play doubles or singles.
She's
really
one of those
good.
that we're waiting for too. I
Yeah,
still
correct.
feel like she's
Carson Getty
best
is
user
again.
ever.
He could be a singles guy.
Yes,
for you. You have Noah Monza, Trey Birchfield, Gavin Cano. I mean, like it's
for sure.
interesting.
It's just again, I like their name power. A lot of different combinations with this one as well. So like it's kind of weird to peg, especially missing Fisher. Those two pieces, like you said, so integral that like you can't even think of what they're going to try to start off with at this point.
I'd be interested to see because remember Ohio did trade for Fisher. I think once upon, or did they trade for Gavin? I think they traded for Gavin.
Yeah.
So they do like the partnership stuff. I wonder if they'll let Gavin just play singles, or will they try to make a move and go after like somebody like a Soto?
Potentially, but again, Soto's. I mean, he's actually kind of deep on a list too. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Ooh, Jinx.
All right, so
Hello.
Pennsylvania Ringers, we have captains are Devin Harbaugh and Justin Burton Jr. Returning players are Gage Landis, Tubby Cobb, Matthew Creekhiller, and Elizabeth Tennyson. Again, just a very solid squad. It depends on what Creekhiller shows up.
Yeah.
If we have the Creekhiller from 2 seasons ago, this team looks really good because Gage Landis is one of the more underrated players.
Yeah.
And who just keeps getting better every season.
And
He
Tubby
finally got
Cobb's
over the hump and wins
looking
national.
like the best Cobb right now. I mean,
Yeah. Devin Harbaugh does Justin Burton Jr. I mean, you don't really have to say a whole lot with that.
Yeah.
I mean, those could be your
They're
singles guys.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're. And
They're all
Tennyson
right.
has been a top, 5 female player in the last 2 seasons. So, I mean,
This is a team though where I would almost wonder, do they try to make a trade for like Scheibner?
I don't know. Like to me, it's
Isn't
like
he also a PA guy? Like
he likes Pittsburgh.
he likes Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Which isn't. It's close enough.
I
They
guess.
got to have something in
I
there
guess.
in their corner, right?
Thank God they didn't make Pennsylvania Ringers black and yellow.
Thank God.
Thank the Lord.
They're like, oh wait, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
No,
No.
not another one.
All right, so out of those 4 teams, 2 of those are going to make the playoffs. Who do you think? Just off those,
Right off the rip, I like the Aviators, and I am being biased because I like their potential.
I want to
with the
see
2
who they
draft
get
picks.
in this. Yes, I want to see who they get.
But again, I'm going to put them there because
Okay.
I believe in them. The next, I mean, how do you not like the Woodchucks?
I kind of like, yeah. I mean, listen, Michigan looks a lot different if they draft Jay Rubin,
Yeah,
but again, there is something to be said about guys that have been there and done that a little bit.
but like, it's always the question: do they care about teams enough to like come out and perform? I feel like a guy like Jeremiah Ellis never likes to lose.
yes.
I feel like Trzynski is very much the same way.
I'm not arguing with you.
They don't care what they're at, but
Yeah.
again, you never know.
This is what happens to Pennsylvania every year, though.
Mhm.
Right? We're like, I don't know if I really.
Then
like,
all of a sudden they're
Yeah.
like,
But
Man,
it is
nobody saw
a
us
different
coming.
format now, though, which is
It
going to
is.
change. I do think that's going to play a big factor in this. I think it's going to favor the teams that are like very top heavy,
Mhm. and it is hard to speculate without the full get here. So
For sure.
we'll see what pops up.
All right. So we got the national division.
West Division, National Division, West Division.
Yes, correct. In the West, we have the California Slingers, who the captains are Tony Smith and Corey Gilbert. Returning players are Ricky G, Dean Norton, Philip Lopez Jr., and Kyle Malone.
Wait, Kyle Malone's coming back?
Apparently so.
Man, crazy.
Weird.
Yeah, I think again, this is a team that fun to watch, I feel like.
Yeah, and again, they have some variability. I mean, it depends on like guys like Dean Norton. Does Dean Norton play like how he started off last season? Just
Yeah.
gets red hot, and him and Corey Gilbert are
Cooking.
vibing, and like things are great. I mean, it's always your team always looks better with guys like Tony Smith on it.
I like that pairing to be the tandem.
Yeah,
Just
I
because
can
I
see
think Corey close to anyone is just good vibes all the time.
yeah, for
So,
sure. Yeah, they're a very solid squad. Next team up is Las Vegas High Rollers. We have the captains are Tanner Halbert and Hunter Thorne. The returning players are Kaylee Hunter, Easy, Jordan Kamba, and Cody Henderson.
I mean, if this was the
It's like a
team of
throwback
4
team.
years ago, like my God, watch out.
Kaylee Hunter would be like 15.
Yeah, but still, it's still today though. I mean, I love the I love the team. I mean, I hope this team is very successful.
Again, but like what Kamba do we see? What Henderson do we see? What
exactly.
Zockline do we see? You know what I mean? Like if these guys are all firing on all cylinders,
we know
then we're
Cody's
okay.
going to come out and do Cody this year.
Yeah.
I think he's primed and he's going to work at it. Tanner's Tanner, Hunter Thorne is Hunter Thorne. Those dudes. Yeah, there's a little question marks on two people with Easy and Kamba.
Yeah.
But again, that could be your tandem.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, didn't they throw together last year?
Yeah.
They could just join together again and see if they can work something out.
I mean, they're a team that's like boom or bust.
Yeah.
I feel like
I would honestly put Kaylee in singles in this. I'd probably put Kaylee and Hunter Thorne in singles and then let Tanner and Cody rip as your doubles team. And then I would have Hunter Thorne.
I think you like Cody.
Go
Cody singles.
Yeah, but I think him and Tanner would actually have good rapport in doubles. And there's an argument to be made that Cody's had more success in doubles.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he's really good at locking in on one side.
All right, so you have Arizona Burn. The captains are Chris Roybal and Landon Crabtree, and the returning players are Jeff Reynolds, Colby Shearer, Derek Holland, and Corey Morrison. So a sneaky team here.
It really is.
Again, not a team that jumps off the page, but if you pay attention to how
it's
last
hard
season
in
went,
the order you read it in too.
Yeah, so Chris Roybal, obviously rookie last year, burst onto the scene, ended up the season, I think, a top 20 player.
It's pretty good.
Phenomenal season. Jeff Reynolds, you know what you're going to get. You know, it's steady Eddie. Derek Holland is arguably a top 15, top 10 player in the world. You put him in doubles and he's a top 5 player in the world. Corey Morrison is, again, steady Eddie. I think you put Corey and Jeff together and just let those two mesh and just have at it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, that they could let it run for doubles, but I mean, Derek Holland in doubles, though, is just.
I hate to say it like this,
nasty.
but Arizona feels a little behind the 8 ball.
A little bit.
Because they have a later draft pick as well. So I think, again, their draft is going to be very crucial.
But they overperformed last season.
They did. Again, like they're a vibe team. Again, I'm not counting them out. We love Corey Morrison. We think very highly of Chris Roybal. You know what I mean? Like, and Derek Holland's a stud. I mean, they could very well be just fine.
Just fine.
All right, we got the Colorado Timber. The captains are Adam Hissner and Ryan Trader. What a weird pair that is for co-captains. Returning players, we have Ian Cripps, Caden Allen, Connie Altice, and Caleb Ladenka. I don't know what to think about this team, man. I think right off the bat, they're way behind the 8 ball because Caden Allen has not been quite as good as he was as an amateur since he's turned pro.
Yeah.
Ian Cripps is a stud, Ryan Trader, and Adam Hissner. We're not arguing that at all. Connie Altice hasn't quite lived up to what we thought she was going to be. We thought she was going to be the one that could really rival Cheyenne for a while.
I mean, we've said that about a lot of females, though.
But she's really kind of fallen off.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with Caleb at all. So I'm
neither am I.
So I'm not gonna lie. I feel, again, so if I had to pick the 2 teams out of this group up here, I'm probably picking Las Vegas and California right off the bat, I think.
Yeah, off the bat, I mean, I would take California as the 1A. Then Vegas right behind them.
All right, so then we have the Central Division in the whatever division.
National Division, Central Division.
Yes. We have the Missouri Maze. The captain is Ethan Walker and Stephen Bernasette, and the returning players are Cedra Herrera, Ryan Windsor, Vincent Frisch, and Alex Hicks. This is a very nice little start.
It really
these
is.
Guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to remember. They have a pretty late draft pick, I think. Can you click over to the draft list real fast?
But they don't necessarily need it. Yeah, they're toward the end right here.
Okay, and then are they one of the teams? Yeah. So they need a female player.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. I think they'll probably wait to like the second round to grab a female.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't shock me though if they went somebody like a Miranda Coy here.
Yeah.
Just one of the better female players that's available. Like, I don't know. It just
solidify
seems
that.
Because remember, you have to start at least one female every time you go out. You don't want that hand. It's like you don't want a shitty tight end in fantasy football.
For sure.
Sometimes it happens, but like if you can avoid it and get a premium in that spot, like it does help.
Yeah. No, for sure. I agree 100%. It would make sense.
But
honestly, where she's at with who's left, it's not a horrible pick right off the rip.
I mean, they're loaded with talent, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's great. I think you put I mean, probably Bernasette and Herrera together, right? I mean, the easy one would be Windsor and Herrera just because of their history, but I don't know. It just feels like stylistically they could work.
That's what I would do.
I think you let Ethan Walker go crazy in singles and shit, maybe even Baby Goat. Just let the dude play singles.
Yeah, you could.
Right? I mean, let him figure it out.
And I was thinking even Bernie in singles with Walker, because I think Bernasette can just slide bags in and annoy the hell out of people in round limited stuff.
But again, I really like their start. Adding one more piece in the first round will do them wonders.
For sure.
All right, so then we have the Chicagoland Spinners. We have captains are Mark Richards and Nico Morellis. And then returning players are Frank Verona, Zachary Engelken, Sebastian Schaefer-Ford, and David Morse.
So not crazy amount of name power.
You have a lot of guys. You have some question marks, right?
Yeah, but
so obviously
pretty solid though.
Your biggest question mark starts with Mark Richards.
Yeah.
Right. If Mark Richards comes back and he's like one of the top 2 players in the country again, all right, you like your team a little more. You have some variability because then you could put somebody out in singles that's probably going to win. Nico is a solid player, but had a little bit of a down year compared to years past last year. Frank Verona is a player on the rise. He's kind of up and down a little bit, but he's super talented. Zachary Engelton, again, he's someone like reminds me, not his throw style, but just he's always in the mix. He's like a Corey Morrison. Like his name's just always kind of there now, and he's kind of solidified himself.
He's a winner.
Like, exactly. He belongs like in the pro circuit,
sure.
And he's super nice dude. And like tries to promote the crap out of like organ donation and all that stuff. He's one of my favorite interviews we've ever done.
Sure.
So
yeah, he's
super cool dude.
Awesome guy.
Sebastian Schaefer-Ford, I don't think gets enough love, and same with David Morse after the season he had last year.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I was getting at. Like it's really not too horrible because
it's tough
Morse
reading
had
them.
a
It's
better...
tough reading them after the maze.
Yes.
Right. I
Very
think that's
true.
what's going to hurt. So the next team down is Kentucky Colonels. We have the captains are Matt Guy and Justin Rule. The returning players are Brett Guy, Damon Dennis, Samantha Finley, and it was Ryan Hart, but is no longer Ryan Hart. Replace Ryan Hart with a 2nd and 3rd round pick. So right off the bat, because they got rid of Ryan Hart for a 2nd and 3rd round pick, regardless, I just don't see them being able to fill up enough for somebody like Ryan. I just don't.
I mean, there's
you really got to find a diamond
Ryan
in the
Hart
rough.
There's an argument to be made here that Ryan Hart was the 2nd best player on this team at this moment, if not the first.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you at all. I think if I had to rank them, I'd go Matt Guy, Ryan Hart, Justin Rule.
Yeah, that's literally what I was thinking.
And then Damon Dennis, Brett Guy, then Finley.
And it's just, how do you not get a 1st round draft pick for him?
I don't know. How do you not get more?
Yeah.
Like, that they want him. Like,
exactly.
Like Jeremiah wants him. He didn't get to play doubles with him this year. He wants him he wants his boy on his team. Listen,
Steal.
Tip of the cap to New England. It was, to me, that's going to come back.
Steal
I really think that's going to affect Kentucky big time.
For sure.
Texas Bully Baggers, you have the captains are Eddie Grindersleeve and AJ Sims. And the returning players are Caleb Batson, Braden Wilson, Dylan Turpin, and Austin Waskow. I think that
this is as close to Murder's Row as we've gotten, I feel like.
If Caleb Batson is Caleb Batson.
Yeah.
If KB returns to form.
But in this format, even an 80% KB
that's true.
From what he once
no,
was.
It's true, because if he's struggling, you put him in crew cup
exactly.
or something. Yeah,
you
that's
can
true.
still do it. And the rest of these guys are just absolute killers. So
I think looking at this, it is going to be a very tight race between Texas and Missouri.
Yeah.
I think, and it's nothing against Chicagoland. I just think that this division is really tough, and I think you have 2 alpha teams.
It really
that
is.
Are really going to be butting up against each other.
I mean, can we just say the West Division is a little weak compared to everyone else.
Yeah, because if you're Chicagoland, you move into the other division, maybe you have a slightly better chance.
The North, killers. South, killers.
All right, so what do you think is the best overall division?
Top to bottom?
Yes.
I think the North. South is a close second.
So you are taking the North over the South?
I am, yeah.
Are you just being a little biased?
No.
Okay.
I'm being a lot biased.
Okay. I think it's so close, man. I think
it really is, but I don't know. I'm looking at the captains top to bottom. Yeah, there's killers on both ends, but I think these captains are a little bit scarier.
Listen, we have the reigning world champion. We have the player of the year, Jeremiah Ellis, in the North. So I mean,
maybe a little recency bias.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, we'll go. Yeah, fuck that. It's North.
Exactly.
God damn it.
North.
Go Aviators.
I'm going to Central's right up in the mix too. Yeah,
for sure. So with the draft order, I kind of went down, and if you wanted to pull up the draft, so I kind of went through best available players after the pro list came out and just kind of marked off everyone that had already been taken. So if you do the math, 16 times 6, 96. So already like almost the top 100 best players in quotes were taken. So as I went down the list, it does start to get thin, and you start getting into rookies and junior players very quickly. Right off the rip, to me, there were 2 players that it would be dumb if they're not the number 1 and number 2 player overall. Like it just would be, to me, it just would make zero sense. To me, Michigan as the first pick, it makes 100% that they're going to take Jay Rubin there. And I think it's probably the worst kept secret. As soon as he was announced and they knew they had number 1 pick, you're coming back home.
Come home, Papa.
Come on home. The second pick is the Virginia Cutters. Because they have Jacob Gore, it only makes sense. And I still cannot believe that Las Vegas let go of Jackson Gore.
I know.
That it just shocks the shit out of me that they let go of Jackson Gore. So listen,
maybe he asked.
If you're Virginia, you say, thank you very much. We're in a really tough division. We need all the help we can get. And you can't ask for a better player than that.
Very true. 100%.
You would, next year he's going to be a keeper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
At least you hope.
This is when it starts to get like, I have no freaking clue what's going to happen. So I just tried to do my best at guessing. So I figured this will be an easy way to just bring up some names.
You're pretty bad at guessing too. So
yeah, typically.
We'll see how it works out.
The third pick in the draft is the Georgia Sliders. I was trying to think of who made the most sense here. I think to me, it's probably going to be, I would think it's Austin Cameron. I think he's showed last year how good he is. He's been on the pro circuit. You know what you're getting from him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no question marks. You know you're getting a stud.
Tried and true.
Stylistically with the other guys on his team, like I can kind of see where he fits in. It wouldn't surprise me if Austin Cameron went to Georgia.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
California has the next pick. And he I don't think he would last coming back to them. And he was on the team last year. He's a junior pro.
He's really good.
Tony Forbes.
Yeah.
It just kind of makes sense that he's
from
home.
Cali, correct? Yeah.
Just stays at home. Chicagoland has the next pick. And this is one I honestly have no idea. I know that the guy that we're interviewing later, Tyler Stratton, has some history with guys like Mark Richards and those guys, right? I know he has some history, but I feel like if I'm Mark Richards and I'm really looking at who had a really solid year last year, who has a good head on their shoulders, who's super talented. To me, I think the right pick for them would be Quinn Reeves.
Yeah, I mean, Quinn, again, we know, you kind of know what you're getting with him already, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I think he's proven that already.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so then the next pick is Texas. There are 2 players coming out of there are several players coming out of Texas, but they're the top 2 players coming out of Texas. I would be very surprised if the Bully Baggers let Chase Lester pass here, just because
I would too.
He's done very well in the TCL events as of late.
I'm going to be surprised if he makes it that far.
I mean, yes, I would be too. Again, just with the names, because Tony Forbes has been there. He was on the team last year. Austin Cameron, like Georgia could take him.
That's what I'm already thinking is Georgia might be like, yeah, Chase kind of tore up some
I just don't know how much homework Ryan Smith is doing about guys in Texas. You know what I mean?
They're going to listen to this show.
I think that Ryan is familiar with Austin, and I feel like it just kind of makes sense. Like that's where things would end up there.
Fair enough.
The next pick is Colorado. I honestly have no idea where they would go. It depends on who's making the picks. If it's Adam making the call, if Adam's making the call, then it might be something different. But I think if Ryan's a co-captain, his brother is a junior pro this year.
Yeah.
So why not draft your brother and grab Mason Trader there in the first round?
If Adam's making the call, he's going to go with Gary Bearpaw.
Maybe.
I feel like they've had a history for a long time.
Yep. The next pick for Pennsylvania, I think it would make sense if they went a junior player, really good player, Hayden Gonzalez.
Yeah. I mean, again, I can't really speculate on who's going to go where, but I like where you have them listed here.
Kentucky, this pick just makes too much sense to me. for them to grab Gary Bearpaw.
Yeah.
Again, he fits right in with the crew. It's what'd you call them? The Krusty Colonels.
The Krusty Colonels.
And he fits kind of like in a lot of like you can put him with Damon Dennis and like they're just like a dream. You can put him with Matt Guy if you really want to. I mean, I'm sure Matt's going to play singles, but yeah, I think he's would be a very
you don't think
nice
Matt would
fit.
play with Brett?
I don't know. I honestly I don't know. In Ohio has the next pick, and I hope this happens. This is me inserting here, Trey, of who I think you should take. If he's available, Ty Thompson. I think either Chase Lester or Ty Thompson, if one of those two players falls there, it makes the sting of losing Fisher out just a little bit. Not completely, because you could have had him anyways and had Fisher.
Yeah.
But it helps moving in the right direction.
But both of those guys kind of have that vibe of they could be the next Fisher rookie.
Correct.
Like have a year like he did.
Correct.
So, yeah, no, I would love to see that.
The next pick is Arizona. Arizona is one of the 8 teams that did not keep a female, so they need to have it. And because Chris Roybal is the captain, I just have a hard time believing that Arizona, out of any team, seemed to be more local proud, right? They try to keep a lot of their own guys in. I would be very surprised if he ended up passing on Gino Ramirez. His former pro partner, his auntie, you know what I mean? Like it makes sense that like you're checking 2 boxes.
She might not let him take anyone else.
You're checking 2 boxes there, right? You know what I mean? Like, so it just, to me, it makes sense there. Las Vegas, again, another kind of toss up. I'm putting Candler back there because I'm pretty sure he played for Las Vegas last year. Really solid player out of Oregon. You know what you're getting from him. He's played on the broadcast before and he's very, very talented. I think right there, that kind of makes sense for me. Carolina has the next pick. If he's there, I think that it would make the most sense to me. And because Jamie Graham has done this in the past, I think they take Trevor Brooks here.
Yeah,
I think because of the format change. And because you already kept Berkeley Pear,
they want that.
Yeah, I think it just makes sense.
Yeah.
I really do think it makes sense.
And they're great cheerleaders. So, like, they're going to bring that fire.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean.
So, you're going to hear this name later on. We interviewed Tyler Stratton. And I think that who Missouri could go with.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to hear in the interview, we do bring up the team's aspect. And he was under the assumption that he was being kept by Michigan. Now, at the time we were recording, Jay Nellis had not decided if he was going to do the Junior Pro Tour. Jay Nell's got the clearance that, hey, you can do this and still be college eligible. So he stayed. So Michigan's like, oh, wait, we're going to keep Jaden.
Yeah.
So Tyler got kind of thrown back in the mix.
Okay.
Because Michigan has that first pick overall and Jay Rubin's sitting there, he's going to get passed. Tyler Stratton went 8-0 in the pro qualifier. This kid's really fucking good. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you're Missouri and you have guys like Windsor and Bernasette, who he's all played against in like that same conference stuff, it makes sense that they know how good that he could be. I think Missouri would be adding a very solid piece to their team.
For sure. No, I like that spot there for him.
Now, the next...
He's another one, though. I'd be surprised if he falls that far.
No, that's true.
Because after, I mean, you go 8-0 in that gauntlet, that's enough recognition for most people to, go pretty high up in this draft.
And this is where, for me, it starts getting weird. Because, like, I don't really know that much, like, the junior people, like the junior players, because there could be some absolute murderers out there that I'm just leaving off. So just for me, after watching the pro qualifier, it would make sense if like a David Brown went here. He's rock steady. He's out of Michigan. And again, this is now Florida's pick is now Ohio's pick.
Yeah.
So if you add David Brown to the roster here, and then you're also going to get a pick in 4 picks, I like your start here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think David Brown is going to be a very solid player. So I'd be interested.
For sure.
And then the last pick.
I don't know much about him.
He's a really good player.
Yeah.
Last pick in the first round, I have New England Woodchucks. And I just threw a name out there because I saw it on there and it would kind of make sense.
It would be funny. Like
what if they took Cash Chamness?
Yeah. I mean, the more I think of it, it would be kind of sweet because like, that Jeremiah would love it.
Yeah.
Now then
New
other
England,
flip side, the other name you have written down is Miranda Coy.
Yeah, because they do need somebody there.
And I think it's hard to pass up a female of her talent level. But don't they have back-to-back picks right there?
Yes.
So
that's why I put the hash.
Yeah, so
there.
I mean I do like if you can get both of those and kind of have
And
that
again,
little
I don't
added-
know. There might be a better junior out there than Cash. It could be Logan Dupler.
And it might not be time for him
It
to
would
go
not
at
surprise
that
me.
point
It
either.
would not surprise me if it was Logan Dupler either.
Yeah.
Like I know the kid's a phenomenal player, so it could be. I just kind of threw a name in there. Another name to consider would be Matt Wilson, a rookie who's making a name. He calls himself the janitor.
Yeah.
Blowing up all over social media. Does a really good job. Adrian Brunson's been there, done that. You know, he's been around. Another female to consider, DLE.
For sure.
I think she's a dark horse in this. I think that if you're a team and you can grab her and you don't have a female and you're like one of these, I think Dia is going to end up falling somewhere up towards the top. I think maybe like Chicagoland or something. No, they already have Sarah Cassidy.
Yeah.
Maybe California or something. It would just make sense that some team that needs some female
and honestly,
firepower.
She's a gamer.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, she's going to scare some people this year.
Absolutely. 100%. So, all right. So that was like our little draft
Or spiel.
breakdown. So you want to do the dramatic reading?
In a world where bean bags have brought men to their knees, social media serves as sanctuary for keyboard warriors. Time for the dramatic readings.
Addicted to cornhole? Jake Horley. If you could own any ACL franchise team, which one would you purchase and why? Bonus, how much are you willing to invest? This is a pretty lame week on social media, by the way.
But great question.
I was going to read the comment that Jeremiah Ellis left on Jamie Graham about like we stopped posting pictures of bacon and or of eggs and steak and eggs, but we left that off.
Carnivore diet. Hashtag.
Hey, listen, he's down 17 pounds in 2 weeks.
I love it.
Jamie Graham, if you're listening to this, keep killing it, brother.
Hell yeah.
I'd love to see it. Love to see it. So if you had to pick a team, which team would you buy?
I mean, obviously, I would buy the Ohio Aviators.
I mean, it's obviously.
without a doubt. And I would pay probably $1,000 for them.
I'm not willing to like until I see how the ACL plans to generate revenue for the teams. I'm not in. I'm not going to invest any money.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, I
would I
only
be in
said
for $1,000? Yeah, I would do $1,000.
Yeah,
All right, I did $1,000.
just to have the,
Would you do 5?
5,000? No.
Yeah.
Way too much. Too rich for my blood. Because again, I'm expecting to just lose that 1,000. Okay. Like,
Fair enough.
it's just, same as you. There's no like.
What if they offered us $5,000 and we had the naming rights for a team? Like we could call them the Ohio Big Ass Podcast if we wanted to.
The Ohio assholes.
Right? We had the naming rights. Would you pay $5,000 for the naming rights?
No,
No? Okay.
because they did such a piss poor job of doing stuff with the teams last year that it was so hard to follow. I couldn't follow it. I had no idea what was going
Every
on
year,
the whole time.
I'm such a draft honk. Like it could be anything.
Yes.
Anything we're drafting, I love
and
it.
here, like, this is all we did for this draft, Sean. Like,
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in us, but there's no other way we could do it because we're just getting this info now, and they get to keep 6 people. So it's like,
Yeah, I know. It's like I know.
right.
It's really picking through. And again, like the who's who in cornhole every year gets a little bit less because there's so many good players
Yeah.
that come out of the woodworks and just
Now,
join
if they
on.
cut this thing to 100, do you say start fresh with the teams and only have
Man,
captains?
yeah, man, I kind of do. I
think
really
you
do.
And then that's when we let it go ho hum. But then after that, it's no more of this draft stuff. I think it's all trades after that. You have teams. That's it.
If this format works out well,
Yeah.
then you can have like 10 teams of 10.
Exactly.
Done.
Done. Look, we solved your problem.
Boom.
Boom. And if you do that and, start having better advertisements and get on something I can actually watch.
I think what's going to happen is because they're still going to have they're going to have the 100, right?
Yeah.
But you can still pull from like the women's and juniors and all that stuff. I think they're still going to probably have. I'll be interested to see if they still keep like the 16 team model. I think that it seems like they're kind of tied to that. But will they? I do think that they're going to have to redraft though. I think you have a captain and be like, hey, listen here.
But I also don't think you need to have 16 teams anymore. You just
I'll be interested to see.
shuffle it up and deal. Let's
Hell
go.
yeah.
Or
All
just have, teams of 5.
You want to cue that rap horn?
Do I ever? That really was a was a sad thing. All right, just one more question.
Okay, please.
On top of that.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Did we get any listener questions? Let me look.
Check that out. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, because we went on a rant about what we did this weekend, but can I just say how much I thoroughly enjoy watching things like the President's Cup over just a normal golf tournament? Why can't golf be more like this? I know Liv is trying, but the product, like, their announcers are just shit. It's so hard to fucking watch.
I watched so much President's Cup this weekend.
I loved every fucking second of that. When Kim came out today and was crying because he heard like American guys were swearing at him when he was like doing his shit on Saturday after winning. I'm like, bro, grow up. It's called cutthroat golf. I love it.
Well, and like at the same time though, like a lot of people were saying like Kim's antics and stuff were an issue. No, dude, that's good.
Yeah,
like,
it's
we
great
need
for
that.
it.
Like,
all of it.
Golf needs that really bad.
And again, this should be on the course. You are enemies. At the clubhouse, y'all can yuck it up.
Yeah,
that's the power of sports. Like, we've gone through it.
Oh yeah, it was kind of fun to watch like a professional golfer like almost shit the bed. Like Keegan Bradley was up 3 with 3 to go and almost
lost.
Yeah, geez, like I wanted him to finish. Like he obviously finished out, got the win, but. I'm like, for a second, it did not seem like he was going to only win us a half a point.
I mean, there was a moment there where I'm like, oh my God, are we going to not win this thing on Sunday? And then
I know.
We ended up cleaning house in the home stretch, which I knew we were going to do because we were closing out better than they were the whole time.
And Morikawa was up like 4 anyway, so like we already kind of had it sealed.
And at that point, we only needed 2 points, but
yeah,
it was just
no, I agree, man.
Great product, man.
Completely
great product.
Hey, look at us. We made it this far. We didn't even talk about golf.
Man, I had to bring it up though because I forgot. And I didn't play it all. Yeah, so that's coming soon.
Yeah, I have the itch. I need to get out and play again. So I'm hoping I can get out Sunday.
I'll let you know.
Sweet.
All right.
Cue it up. Reach us at Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Ass Cornhole.
And Facebook at Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Thanks again to our one sponsor, the sponsor, Draggin Bags.
Do you see my hat? God,
look at that.
You're watching on
Patreon. DB. Head on over to DraggingBags.com and get yourself a great set today. Drop code BIGASS12 at checkout.
Don't forget about Patreon. If you're listening to this and you are interested in bonus content, if you go to patreon.com/bigasscornhole for the price of a beer a month, as we always say, you can support us and keep us going. You can get the video version of all the podcasts for the interviews. We put them all up on Patreon. We have monthly happy hours, bag giveaways, all that fun stuff. If you are a new Patreon member, I just got stickers in finally. Like, I love Rockin' Monkeys like quality.
You just have to order them 12 months in advance and hound them.
Dude, I hounded them for like 2.5 months. So I'm going to be working on this weekend, sending all those stickers out. You're not forgotten. Thank you very much for the support. We greatly appreciate you. But go to patreon.com/bigasscornhole and we greatly appreciate your support.
Pew, pew.
Pew, pew. All right, so stay tuned. So we're going to be joined by Team Swag Bags, right? So we have Chauncey, from the owner of Swag, is going to be joining us along with Tyler Stratton. And Tyler's going to announce and then introduce his new pro partner who will also join us on the interview. But we don't want to spoil it here. You got to go watch the interview. Or if you're listening to the podcast, just stay around for a few seconds and we're going to be right there.
There you go.
But if you're watching us on YouTube or on Patreon or something like that, you're going to have to go find the interview over on Patreon. So, no free ads.
No free ads.
Hey, how about us? All right. Well, as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later. Welcome back to the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. We are now joined by Mr. Chauncey from Swag Bags. What's going on, man?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good. What's new and exciting?
Oh, just fun off-season stuff.
Yeah,
how it is.
We're also commiserating
over
the Browns, which sucks.
Yeah, we had to bring it up again.
We had to.
Sean, I thought we got all this stuff out already.
Almost, but I had to. I mean, not everyone got to hear the pre-talk, so.
Oh my God.
Only if you're a Patreon member.
I know. It's just it's hard. It's hard.
I curse my parents for being born in Northeast Ohio every Sunday. So
fair enough. Well, I forget where are your parents originally from?
So I lived about the first half of my life in just outside of Cleveland.
Where at?
Paynesville. Like
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're closer to like the Mentor area.
exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
It's just
Okay.
east, maybe 20 miles east of downtown.
Okay.
I still go up there quite a bit. So next time I do, I'll have to hit you guys up and throw some bags.
Yeah,
But
because we're just like 15 minutes south of Cleveland.
yeah, I'm pretty familiar with Bray. I mean, like I
Yeah.
go out there for, like high school sporting events and
Okay.
things like that. So
Absolutely.
but yeah, I mean, you guys, I don't know how it is right now, but this is the time of year where it's nice up there.
Dude, it's perfect.
is.
Dude, we've
More
been
months.
so spoiled, man. Like I've been saying, like if I need to go
It's been a
outside with
great year.
hairspray or something, like global warming has been great for the Midwest. Yeah, I mean it really has. Like our weather has been like amazing. Like it's been like long, beautiful summers.
So
and
you're the one
listen.
who's out there with aerosols everywhere.
Yeah, and then you got fall weather that's like 70 degrees like every day. We get rain here or there, but like for the most part, it's perfect.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
It's,
that's
it's,
what I'm saying.
it's definitely the time of year I would switch places with you, because this time of year we're worried about, hurricanes, and hopefully everybody in the path of the one that just went through.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have a lot of friends and family across the state that
For
we're
sure.
thinking about. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
man,
it's always scary down here this time of year. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about last season. How did you think it went? Were you happy with everyone's performance? What did you learn from last year going into this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we're coming up right now on our fourth season in business, and we've spent all the previous, since our inception, we've been with the ACL since the beginning. So, we weren't making bags prior to that. And I think each year, as a business, we learn a lot of how to do things better. And that's in a lot of different facets, from the bags, just the type of materials we're using, to the fills, to what we want to come up with next as far as the bag technology. We're getting better with that every year. I believe, I think our bags are getting better and better each year. And then, as far as just being efficient and being able to use our time better, we're still a smaller guy by a lot of for most intents and purposes, and I think we've done a good job of a lot of it through our players and our reps getting our name out there and really, really growing in the game. So, my question that I always ask myself is what can I do better for my players, and then the people that throw our bags? How can we spotlight them more? How can we help them reach their goals? And I think we've come up with some creative ideas. Some of them will be coming up, and I think that you'll see throughout the year, kind of as some of those come together. But one of the big things we started pushing last year was also sponsoring not just pros and not just elite players, but novice up to advanced as well, and just really trying to get into the community, and let people know that, hey, if you're a good ambassador for the sport. And for us, we'd love to have you on the team. You don't have to throw 10, 11 PPRs, to be a great representative for the game and to help us grow and hopefully get something out of it yourself as well. So, last year was a good year for us. Our first season in business, we tried to kind of make a splash and sponsor a lot of pros. And I think we bit off a little bit more than we could chew at the time, just in terms of, head spinning and trying to figure out the business side and the product, and then also trying to be there for our players. And I think that, going into year two, we took a step back, had a little bit of a smaller team, but focused on some of the other aspects, like our rep program and things of that nature. And then last year, it all started to come together. So this year, we're ramping up. We're probably going to be doubling our pro field as far as sponsorships.
Okay.
And some of those haven't been announced yet, and they'll be coming. But we're really, really excited about the team we're going to be putting out there this year.
Yeah, I think obviously it's just a contest, but one of the gauges to me that I always used on like who's trending the right direction is like how you do in best of the bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
for
as dumb
sure.
as it is to get like Facebook clicks like to vote for you, it still means something. You know what
It
I mean? So
does.
like your social media reach is getting out there. You know what I mean? Like the people care enough to take the time to then vote for you over somebody else. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it does mean something. And that's why I enjoy
It's-
doing it every year, just to kind of get a feel for like where everything's at.
Hey, I mean, guys, it's one of my favorite things that I look forward to, and that was even before I was making bags. I mean, I I'd be lying to you if I told you that I didn't buy bags before I started swag based on, results in that competition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I
I
love
think
hearing
it's an
that.
awesome thing, and we definitely look forward to being part of it again this year.
Yeah, I think I definitely want to bring in Mike's bags again. Just because he does so
He was
many,
great.
dude, and he does, and again, he's like that's his thing now. We've gone away from bag reviews like every single week, just because like there's guys like Mike that are doing it so well that I don't feel like there's a need for it as much as there was when we first started the show
People
like 5-6
underestimate
years
the
ago.
amount of time it takes too.
Yeah, and
Like,
he puts in the content. So again, like if you're listening to the show, free shout out to Mike because like go check out Mike's bag reviews like on
Yeah,
Cornhole.
for
Like
sure.
he does a phenomenal
Great job.
job. Like I subscribe, I watch his videos. That's how I learn about like what's still out there and what's going on. Because like again, we don't have a lot of like ACO stuff here. So I mean, he plays a lot of ACO stuff, so I get to learn a lot about their bags and their companies. So
For sure.
I think we'll definitely incorporate him again.
Now, Chauncey, I did have one question for you because you mentioned something that's all too familiar in the cornhole world about, year one bit off more than you could chew.
Yep.
But here you are still continuing. What do you attribute to you having continued success past that point? Because a lot of those bad companies that have done that have fallen to the wayside.
Well, I mean, I can tell you, there's been ups and downs. I mean, our early onset, I can tell you, I mean, I was not, I was reinvesting everything and I was not taking money out, for myself. And I think that had I done that, we wouldn't have made it. And so it was really about the belief of, let's stick to the vision that we have. And if you just stick to I almost sound like the 76ers trust the process here, but it's like, trust the process and, there'll be better times ahead. And so, I think, we bit off more than we can chew, but we learned from it. And I think that that's in all aspects of life. Like, sometimes you dive in head first, but, if you don't succeed, just learn from it. And so, in our case, I think we're always looking at things that we can improve upon, always kind of looking in the mirror and trying to, evaluate and be honest with ourselves. And as the years gone on, I just think that, we've cleaned up some of, like I said, inefficiencies and things like that. And, right now, I think we're in a really, really good space with a lot of momentum. You talked about it's kind of a crazy, time in this last offseason. We've seen people leave, the ACL. We've seen bad companies, new ones pop up and then staples go away. And I think that kind of in this, chaotic, so to say, time, we're really set in a good position going forward. And I think that a lot of those sacrifices we made in those previous years are all going to, kind of come together for the best for us now going forward.
Before we bring on our other guest here, what's your overall like feeling? Like, do you like the trajectory that the game is going? Because I mean, it's just a weird time right now, right? Because there's going to be a lot of changes over like even this year from the pro field, and then next year, it really shrinking down. Like obviously you have a vested interest in like the success of not just like the ACL, but like of the game itself. Like, are you still comfortable like with how everything's going in the direction it's going?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that there is some, I don't know what you want to call it, but maybe like regression to the mean just based off of we had such an explosion around COVID. And when I say we, I mean the game of cornhole, right? Everybody that's really when I got into it big time was around COVID. So, there was a time when the sport was really, just at such a steep trajectory, going upwards because of that. And, as life gets back to normal and things, people are picking up other hobbies that they had before, things like that. So, I think it's unfair just to look at it like, is it organizational changes or things like that are causing some sort of downfall or like, I don't think that's the right way to look at it. I mean, I think it's, I think with participation and things like that dropping in some aspects, that was really more just due to, the swing of what we were coming off of from COVID. So, as far as where the game's heading, I mean, I'm as excited as ever. I think, a lot of times people are kind of scared of change and things happen and they panic at first. But then when you really look into it, it's all done to try to help to grow the game. Like, look, there's no way the ACL is trying to not grow. you know what I'm saying, the sport. I know you talk about this a lot. I mean, it is the best organization when it comes to, organized cornhole. So, I really think some of the things that they're doing to try to make the sport more global is we should all be excited about. I mean, you see these opens in other countries, and you see some of the tournaments and the reach that they're trying to get overseas. Hey, if we can keep adding, not just from the US, but also, going to these other countries, and the game keeps growing, in the end, that's what's going to be best for all of us. That's how, we can have those conversations in the future about pros having salaries and things of that nature. That's only going to happen by bringing more people in. So I think the key to that's the global stuff. And I think that, the ACL and the WCO is, headed in the right direction with that. So I'm excited. I'm optimistic.
Good. I mean, I always like to hear that. You never want somebody to come on and be like, "We're all fucked."
Yeah,
right. Abort
for sure. So this year, navigating the off season, obviously, for bag companies, it's always a weird time, right? Like you're not necessarily like ending relationships that you've previously made, but like contractually, free agency period is a real thing. So approaching this off season, like compared to some of the others, I would say like you're later to announce some of the players, whether that it's you were waiting or whether that's just part of your guys' strategy is waiting longer. But do you want to introduce one of your first players you're signing, rookie player?
Yeah, I'd love to. So he threw our bags last year.
Okay.
And we're really happy to have now for his rookie pro season, Tyler Stratton to be on the swag team. Tyler is known in kind of the Great Lakes area and of course, Michigan, and known for his talent and on his boards and people knew what he could do. I actually reached out to Tyler and found him because of just some crazy, highlight video type shots that I saw him hitting against some really big names. So just staples in the sport, your Windsors, your Richards, and some battles he had with them in the conference. And I was like, man, this kid's talented. Let's see if he had any interest in joining the team. And, at the time he wasn't planning on doing elite. And, when we brought him on, we kind of pushed him in that direction to give it a shot. And he had a heck of a year, went into Rock Hill for the gauntlet, went 8-0. And he actually had a really tough draw on that. I mean, there's no easy games in the gauntlet, as you guys know, but I mean, shoot, I feel like half the players he played actually made it to like the final 16, so he had a tough run, but I mean, he went 8-0 through it. Super, super talented kid, really, really nice guy, and really, really happy to have him on board here for the first year.
Yeah. Tyler, welcome, man.
How y'all doing? What's up?
Nothing, man. It's we're doing well. Just here on a Sunday night. We got football in the background. We're talking a little business here. It's fun. So welcome to the show. So first of all, all right. So rookie season, right? Going in, first of all, you qualified through the gauntlet. Just talk us through how that experience was, man. Like, what was it like, when you first stepped up to the boards to when you knew you kind of played that last game, you knew you were safe and you got your pro card?
It was very nerve-wracking. I'm not going to lie. The entire day, I was every single game sweating, nervous, even shaking a little bit.
Okay.
But
didn't look like
bunch
it
of
when
tough
you were throwing.
games, a lot of talent. No easy games, to be honest with you. It was a great experience.
Now, you played in the elite program last year. Do you think that the elite program was an overall like positive experience? Do you think it helped your overall like growth of like you as a player?
Could you repeat that? Sorry, you cut out.
Yeah. So you were in the elite program last year. Do you think that like the elite program helped you develop as a player? Do you think it was like an overall positive experience? Would you recommend it for other people?
For sure, a positive experience. It was great. I definitely wouldn't be at the skill I'm at right now if it wasn't for the elite. It helped me out a lot with going against a lot of better players, going against a lot upper talent. Just pushed me to keep going.
In general, how long have you been playing?
3 years now.
And how'd you get started? Yeah.
When I first started 3 years ago, I actually went to a bar to go watch my cousin play, and I made fun of him for it. I was like, "You're playing cornhole, man. Like, you're a loser." And about a week later, I just got like the thrive to throw bags, and I just went to the blind draw at the bar, and then it stuck from there. I got addicted.
You've matured over these 3 years. You're wise in your 19 years now.
Yes, sir. That's for sure.
When I was doing my research before you came on, I made the revelation that you were born the same year as I graduated high school. So that was fun.
That's pretty crazy to think.
Yeah, especially when my birthday was like a few days ago. It's like I just feel really old now. It's like, oh, thanks.
So you were almost at puberty when he was born.
Almost there. Almost made it there. So in high school and stuff, were you involved in other sports? Were you like an athlete growing up?
Yeah, middle school and high school, I played basketball, football, baseball, and kind of just grew out of it, I guess. But definitely always had like the competitiveness and just the competitiveness, honestly.
What is it? What drew you to cornhole? Like why did you? So I know you went to the blind draw. You kind of got the urge to throw. But once you start playing, not everyone, like everyone's played, but not everyone like decides like, hey, I'm really going to try to get good at this. So what was it about that like kind of drew you to the game?
It was just that it's different. You don't really see a lot of people who are good at like top tier at cornhole who can do the things like a lot of people are doing nowadays.
Okay.
And I just wanted to be the best, pretty much. Wanted to go to the top.
Okay. So you threw swag bags last year. What series did you primarily throw last year?
I stuck with the Emerald XRs because I like the slower bag. I like to be able to put all my force and effort into my throw, because when I have to baby the bag is when I become like really inconsistent.
Okay.
But when I can put all my force into the throw, it's just a lot easier. And the Emerald XRs, they're capable of rolling, cutting, anything you need. And that fast side's fast enough to clean up and pretty much do anything and everything.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, obviously they worked, right?
Clearly.
At least they worked. At least they worked the 8 games that you needed them to. You know what I mean? So that's really
Tyler walked into Rock Hill the day of the qualifier, and like I said, he said, it was nerve wracking and he was nervous, but he didn't throw nervous, and he definitely showed confidence because he walked in. He looks at me, he goes, Chauncey, when I walk in here, I just got to say, Daddy's home. Daddy's home.
You just got to stay confident. Even when you're nervous, even when you're under pressure, your confidence is everything. You can't fold. You can't show weakness,
So in Michigan, we're pretty familiar with like the pro field out there, like in that region. So who's like your nemesis? Like who's the one that like always like seems to give you a good game? Like
out here in Michigan?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say Jaden Ellis.
Okay, well,
definitely Jaden Ellis.
I think he gives most of the country a hard game. So
that's for sure.
Is there anyone else?
Joe Needstead. Dude, we got a lot of talent out here in Michigan. I can't really say specific. I mean, 5 players. There's Jaden, Joe Needstead, Lucas Piper.
Who would you
Mike
be besides? All right, so besides Jaden, who would you be least excited to, like, if let's say you like we're at like the first conference event, right, or like first regional event, and you had a draw and you got drawn in the first round? Who would you like not excited to play in the first round?
Mark Richards. All right, Brian Windsor.
Yeah, that would suck. Yep. It would suck a little bit. I get
that. But definitely it's not easy. Definitely not easy going against them too.
We know that draw too well because we're always at the very bottom because we never play.
Yeah, I go to like 2 regionals, 3 regionals a year. So like whenever I go, luckily now it's gonna be separate, I think, right?
I think so, yeah.
Like do pros have your own like thing at regionals too, or is it just still like advanced?
No, at regionals it's all one. There's open, which is like everyone. You can go in there, and that's pretty much where they all go. And then there's competitive,
Okay. All right, so regionals, I'm still screwed then.
Yeah, still screwed.
All right, so I got to go to the bigger stuff.
You're like, all right, Jeremiah Ellis, just come on up. Your first round matchup.
Yeah, seriously. You're a charity case here. So, so entering your rookie season, right? Obviously, one of the stresses has got to be trying to like pick a partner, especially with next year, the rumors going to that they're going to cut the pro field down to 100. So finding a good doubles partner seems to be kind of important this season. So how did you try to navigate finding a partner?
I was looking around for a hot minute, and I wanted someone top tier and someone who would be comfortable with the same bag, because there's not a lot of players out there that'll throw a slow bag like I do and like still be able to do everything that they're comfortable doing,
Yeah.
And it was kind of last minute, but I hit up Chauncey, and Chauncey helped me find my partner.
That's fun. And so who are you playing with next year?
I'm excited to say I'm playing with Kyle Malone.
Hell yeah! Out of the early retirement days of Kyle Malone.
You got
Sort of whispers.
got a
Yep.
short taste of it.
Kyle, what's going on, man?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good, man. Good to have you back. You've been no stranger to the show. You've been on a few times.
Yeah, quite a few. I think I announced with Jimmy on here as well, no?
Yeah, I think
Believe
you did.
did.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So, and you were on. I mean, you were one of our first guests, like when we were still like duct taping our phones to a fucking microphone.
For sure.
Like, you guys might have been our
OG
very
days.
first. I think you and Dalton might have been our first like Zoom call ever that we did.
Yeah, I think
right?
so.
I think it was.
Yeah, and the quality's there, folks. Go back. It's like episode.
2019.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it was a long time ago.
See,
Long
we're
time
aging
ago.
ourselves again. That's
Oh,
twice
okay.
already this episode.
Absolutely.
Good Lord.
Tyler was about 7 years old then, probably.
About there, yeah.
So Kyle, I know you had made a post a few weeks ago saying that, like it made it sound like, that you had decided that like, hey, I'm going to walk away. Fast forward to you're here now. Like what's changed?
It was mostly a decision on a sponsor. I started out looking around, trying to get, the most support that I could from a bag sponsor, or really any sponsor for that matter. And I have kids, so the money part of things, traveling and the expenses and stuff, it has to make sense, or I have to work full time, and that's going to hinder me getting to practice and and getting to go to most tournaments. There's not really any job out there going to let you off that long for what we have to have a year. So it was really tough to make the decision, and Chauncey, came along and said, I got you. I'm gonna do what I can for you, and he made it happen, and he got me a stud in the process too.
Hell yeah. So I mean, going off of last year, right? I mean, you had a pretty good partner last year too. You guys had a pretty good. I mean, I would say it was a successful season. So like, what happened there? Like, was the offer just not? Did you not get an offer from Ultra? Was that just not an option on the table anymore?
About half within maybe half the year, I pretty much knew what was going to happen the next year.
Okay.
And you already kind of see what happened. It was mostly, Mark's decision, Ultra's decision in the matter. It's whatever. I don't have any hard feelings about cornhole.
Well, I get it. It's business. I mean, I mean, it is, but
It's a business decision. It's it's their priorities and what they want to do. So, there was no hard feelings there. I mean, me and Harbaugh didn't want to split per se. Like, we had a successful season.
Yeah, you
and
did.
Jeremiah didn't want to leave Ryan, but at the end of the day, that wasn't anybody's decision. So
I get that. Like, were you happy with how everything went last year?
yes and no. My singles performance wasn't the greatest last year. I plan to work on that in this off season. Playing a little bit, playing a little bit more, showing up a little earlier to blind draws to get a little extra practice in, things of that nature. It'll buff out, I've been at it for
Come on,
11 years now.
we're both thinking the same thing, right?
I'm sorry. We're definitely gonna clip
Yeah,
that one
I
because
got you.
this shit'll buff
11
out.
years.
Shit'll buff out.
I've been at it for 11 years now, and I think I've been in the top 20 every year for 10 of those years besides this last year.
Yeah.
So, things happen, things buff out, and I'll get back at it again this year.
What so again, we were talking before, like you've been playing for quite a while, like what 8-9 years competitive cornhole, like at a high level. Where
I really started 3 months into playing. I was playing my first major tournament on another organization.
yeah.
And that was, they threw me to the dogs right away, and
Yeah.
I had to learn and I had to adapt and be better, in a short amount of time. And within, 10 months of playing, I played my first ACO Worlds and got 4th. So I was kind of on the spectrum pretty quick.
I thought he was talking about the MLC. So cutthroat.
Where what talk to us about the transition of the game from, back in those days to now. Like, is it night and day? Is it still comparable because it's still like, you and putting a bag in a hole? Like, what's different now?
It is not comparable anymore. It's taken a lot of us older players like me, Adam Hisner, guys like that, to really adapt. And Adam's done a really good job at that. And I think I have too. It's been a grind over the years to kind of stay at the top level because it gets better and better every year.
Yeah.
So as a player, I have to keep getting better and better. Whereas newer players are coming in, already two tier, and I'm still learning things as I'm going along. And it's been a grind. Yeah, like I started out with corn bags back then.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time.
So you said before you have kids, right? So you have like responsibilities and stuff. Why do you think do you think the youth is doing so well and getting so good at this game so fast because they don't really have a lot of other responsibilities and maybe they have more time to practice and throw and play?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they go to school for 6-7 hours a day. They come home. I mean, I think half of the junior committee is homeschooled nowadays.
It's crazy.
So they can throw all they want to. I know the Gores are homeschooled, so they throw all they want to.
Yeah.
It's
after their work is done, folks. Okay.
I think it's more to do with the schedule thing than anything. I think it's more to do with the schedule and like trying to get places, and like I've got to have my mom pick up the kid, and I've got to rely on my girlfriend a lot more while I'm gone. So, shout out to them for doing what they do.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, it's hard. I mean, I don't want to be away for 3 days on the weekend when, I could be taking my kid to the park and to the beach and
I get it.
Things of that nature.
I get it, man. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like we travel some for this, but I used to travel a lot when I was coaching and stuff. And that's one of the reasons I stopped, because I was never home on the weekends. You know what I mean? It's, when you start having kids and stuff and you go home, like you go away for a weekend, you come back, you're like, did you seriously grow? Like in 2 days, I didn't see you. Like, it's like, it starts hitting a little differently, Yeah. So this kind of question's open for you and Tyler, and Chauncey, whoever wants to chime in. What did you guys think about, like, there's a lot of changes coming up, right? What did you guys think about, well, let's start with the obvious, like the step over rule, right? They're eliminating the step over. You can't step over. There's now an imaginary death line that if you cross it, like bad things are going to happen. So like, what do you guys think about them?
I'm very curious to see on all the players that like Ryan Trader, Jaden Ellis, like a bunch of top players that used to step over the board. I wonder how their throws are going to look now. It's really interesting.
Trader demonstrated his throw because I asked him when I saw him in California at Spencer's. I'm like, okay. So I straight up asked him, like, is this going to mess you up next year, man? Like, I know there's some people worried about this, and he showed me, and he four-backed. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to keep walking then. So he looked fine. It's like he eliminated one of his steps, because he used to take like 2 or 3 full steps, and he just eliminated one of them, and it just stops short now. He said where it's going to be the biggest issue is like for big push shots and stuff.
Yeah, that's what's good about the offseason. You got time to fix that.
That's true.
Well, doesn't the season start this weekend?
Rules.
Yeah, it starts this the draft. Well, the draft, right? Isn't it coming up like next weekend? Isn't the first open next weekend?
Yeah, it's at the first open.
Okay. Oh, now, Kyle, were you kept by a team?
Yeah, I'm still with the Slingers.
Okay, so you were Slingers.
They were waiting to for me to let them know if I was coming back or not.
Okay. So who's all on your guys' squad that you know?
I'm pretty sure it's Tony, Corey Gilbert, Ricky G, Dean Norton, myself. I'm sure he'll keep either Tony, Forbes, or Spencer.
Okay. Because I think you're allowed to keep 6 total per team.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Philip Lopez.
Okay. Yeah, because I know the draft is upcoming, but like I just, again, this is one of my biggest gripes with the ACL is that I think the teams thing could have potential, but they don't give us enough information about it.
We'll try to cover it,
like,
but
you know what I mean?
impossible.
Like, I'm trying to do you guys a solid here, but like, give us something. Like, who's on what roster? Like, can you give us a roster of names that can be drafted?
Yeah.
Like, or something, you know what I mean? So we're not all just trying to do it on the fly.
Man, last year I didn't know there were still people that I was looking around and it was like, I didn't even know they were a pro.
Yeah.
There's so many, names that aren't recognizable anymore. I mean, a lot of, as the names fall out over the years and the new ones come in, it's hard to learn everybody. There's 250 of us.
Yeah. Now I know it's a relatively short history, right? I mean, because the teams have only been around in the draft and stuff, but typically those who do very well in the pro qualifier typically get drafted high. So Tyler, like, do you have a feel at all for this draft? Like, has anyone reached out to you?
You
like,
going first round?
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine you're going to probably go first round to somebody.
I'll spoil it before he does, but he won't even get drafted.
He's not getting drafted?
He got kept.
Oh, that's right. Cause you can keep elite players, right?
Michigan, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Okay. And that's
automatically on the Michigan elite
Jordan, right, is running that team. Power.
Jordan and Jeremy Shermerhorn. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. And Shermerhorn's a fantasy nerd too,
Yes,
so
he
like he
is.
loves like the draft stuff. He's one of my favorites. I like Jeremy. Okay, so
I know
all right,
you
so
can only keep
that's a pretty
6,
solid
I
squad.
think, right?
What's that?
I think you can only keep 6 players, right?
Yeah, I
6
think
or
you can
7
keep
players.
6 players. Yeah, I think that's what the rumor has
Still
been.
a lot though.
Yeah, I believe it's 2 captains and they can retain 4 others.
And there's only
I know co-captains are susceptible to trade too.
yes, co-captains are susceptible to trade, and I think are they rostering? Was it 12?
I think
Yeah,
it's 12.
I think it's 12.
Yeah, because I think there's going to be a decent amount of people that are not picked.
Mhm.
Like, and it'll be interesting.
Wasn't it 16 this year?
I think so.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it 16
I
this
think it was 16 this past
Yeah,
year.
and again, I could be
Only
wrong
12
about
this
this but I thought it was 12 that you guys were getting this year. I could be wrong, but because I mean, they still haven't come out with the official like pro
haven't heard-
number. Like, I don't
yeah.
even know how many people are pros this year.
Yeah, haven't heard that either.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's imagining
It'll be a
gonna
surprise
less.
for everyone.
256. It was this year.
Yeah, it's going to be less. I would imagine maybe 190 if I had to guess, but who knows?
that's
You're
what-
good.
Yeah, I think they said in the past that, or like if they went off last year's numbers, it would have been about 190 this year.
That's
if I'm
kind
not
of
mistaken.
that's kind of what I'm guessing at.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
Which I mean, I guess that's the if the goal is to make it 100 next year, right?
Yeah.
Then it's transitioning it a little bit better than doing it all. Because could you imagine going from 256 to 100? That'd be
Oh
wild.
no! It was smart
That'd
to
be
start to
nuts.
whittle it down this year.
Mhm.
But again, like I think it's
I
good
think
for
it's
people.
also got to make sense in the brackets though too. Like they have to be able to make 4 brackets, I believe.
They will.
Or
That's
2
what the
brackets.
that's what the elite's there for, though.
Okay, all right, that makes more sense.
And that's why
So
I
you're saying
and I think
190, like pros, not counting elite.
correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's why it's good for people to hear that like the elite program was a good like a positive experience because honestly the pro field's going to need this at least this year. They need the elite program, and if you're an elite player, you're never going to have a better chance to like make it to a pro bracket than you've ever had before now.
Yeah, a lot
Right?
of
There's going to
spots.
be more spots theoretically available. So I mean, they haven't said if it's going to be 4
Yeah.
64-man brackets, but I would imagine they're going to want to kind of keep that similar format.
At least this season. Yeah, I'd assume they would.
So it'd be interesting. So I mean, there's really trying to think what's the primary difference right now between. I mean, if you qualify every time for a pro bracket as an elite player, I mean,
Yeah.
technically, I mean, do they consider elite players pros, or are you just considered an elite player?
I do.
I'm pretty sure you're just considered an elite player. I don't.
Okay, I mean that would make sense.
Yeah, I think it's just a tag.
Kyle, you've been around for a while, right? So you've seen like you've been a pro in the ACL. I mean, is this your 5th year now?
Oh no.
Did we cut out for
Year
a
7
second?
or 8. I believe.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Years
Okay.
7 or 8. Yeah, I think I only missed the 1 year that there was the regular 16.
Oh, okay. All right. So you were in that next year then?
Where it was like 95% Cleveland, Ohio.
The year after I
It was. It was so sad. It was.
It
Like,
was.
it was. We had like 12 of the
Like
16.
Like,
Ohio and then Frank Modlin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty. Yes. Correct. Yeah. Correct. And that's so sad. But none of them are left, are they?
No.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think any
Adam
of them-
Hisner.
Oh yeah, Hisner.
Hisner, yeah.
I always
Jordan
forget about
Campbell,
him
yeah.
and
Campbell's still
Henderson.
in there.
Henderson's still there. Yep. Popping in strong.
We're thinking of like Cleveland area though.
Yeah,
like
that's
all
very true,
those
yeah,
guys
yeah.
are.
Wasn't Campbell part of it too?
Who's that?
Yeah,
Jordan
Campbell.
Campbell?
Was an OG.
I don't know if he was
Yeah, he
part of
was
the. Was he part of the
yeah.
16?
I think so.
He might have
yeah.
been.
I believe.
I mean, I know like Eric Anderson was. Mike Pfaff,
Mhm.
Christine Papke.
Alan Scott.
Was I don't think Chucky Love was an OG. I think he got in like that next
I think
year.
it was the next year.
But regardless, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's fun to reminisce at times.
Oh
so.
yeah, Cito Soto. Don't
Yeah.
forget that name.
Do you, but are you a fan of it going down to from like 256 to 100? Like, do you think it was needed in the pro field?
Oh yeah, it definitely. I mean, there's your players that I think all year long that are consistently at the top that shouldn't necessarily have a super easy game to start with.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. I think I like that better because I mean you could play a dog that's from the elite division that has all the potential to be a pro, but just either isn't old enough or, doesn't want to commit or something like that. So I think it's going to make it interesting in the brackets.
Yeah,
sure.
No, I agree.
There'll be a lot of teams that are able to make a name for themselves with big wins versus, a lower level pro just beat a higher level pro. Whoop-de-doo.
I agree. Now, one of the biggest changes they're making is that they're trying to really incorporate like the round limited stuff. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Like, do you guys like the round limited stuff? Would you rather like, damn, I kind of just like playing to 21, or do you guys just not give a shit and you're whatever, you just want to win whatever you're playing?
I hate it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw it
I've
out there.
never played really with the round limited, so I can't really say, but I'd probably rather choose just straight up 21.
Okay. All right. And I'm interested, Kyle, why don't you like it?
I don't like changing my play style. I mean, I like to shoot a lot of airmail, so personally, it doesn't fit me. I played the year. Okay, so the year that I won the shootout finals,
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
I obviously had to win a shootout to get into that, and it's like the whole year I tried to adjust my game to the 10-round format, and the only thing I could come up with was just slide every bag in the hole.
Okay.
And I don't like doing that, so I got away from a lot of my airmail, and I think it kind of hindered on a little bit.
Okay, so why don't you like doing that? It's for some, you have to understand that somebody that like can't just do that like naturally, like it's like a little frustrating here. It's like, why don't you like doing that?
I don't know. It's just like that's everybody can slide a bag in the hole now, so it just makes the game a lot like more stressful.
Okay.
On us, I would say, like it's really stressful, like you said, just sliding a bag in the hole. It's not easy, but per se, I would like to be able to play around a little bit.
Okay.
And maybe try to manufacture a big round every now and again.
Okay.
And I just don't feel like I can do that.
Okay. Okay. It's interesting. So I'm interested in like Chauncey, you can kind of chime in on this too. I get that. I'm interested in like obviously the pro sponsorship stuff is kind of a weird time. And I feel like we've seen like this, obviously like maybe like a market correction over the last few years with like overall like sponsorship dollars. And like, I'm interested in getting two perspectives, obviously like players' perspective, right? But I'm also interested in getting ownership perspective. Kyle, like, do you feel like and this is, can we just like end the partnership for a second? Obviously we know you're very happy with swag bags and all that stuff. I get this and I'm not trying to ruin anything, but I'm interested in getting an opinion on somebody brand new, right? Like Tyler, somebody that's been around the game. And then Chauncey, you've been a business owner now for a while. My question is like, what do we think like the player is worth right now? Cause my biggest thing is I am friends. We've been doing this for 6 years. We've made a lot of connections. I know what pro players are asking for a lot of the times. And my thing is, be honest, do you think that like pro players do enough to ask for this amount of money, Kyle?
There's not a whole lot that a player can do besides represent himself and be like a billboard. You know what I mean? A walking, talking, typing, sharing on social media billboard.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think that a advanced level player or competitive level player is going to change what bags they throw just because another pro is throwing them. They already have a bag they like. It's a good feel in their hand. And personally, half of them people want to beat us pros. They don't want to throw what we're throwing. They want to beat us. Like they want to not ever lose to us.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I get that.
So it's a lot of off the screen advertising that's going to probably make it worth it. Like the backyard players is an untapped market, quote unquote.
Oh, for sure. No, I agree. Yeah, I completely agree.
That's really the access that I would like to get a company if I can, and getting newer players like, hey, what bags do you throw? And me having just an extra set on me that I don't ever throw. Here, you can have these. Try these out.
Mm-hmm.
You like them? Okay, bro, you can keep them. And now that's a dedicated customer to swag bags. It's a lot of the backyard newer players getting into it that are really the fan base of the game.
No, I completely agree. I think that's something that's not talked about enough because obviously if anyone's that's listening to the show, you've heard me say social media is king, right? You got to get, just because you get mass appeal from that. But there is something to say that somebody that goes to blind draws, that goes to the local stuff and is well liked and people look up to him. Like we saw it firsthand here in Cleveland, that whatever Eric Anderson or Timmy Jonas was throwing that year, everyone in fucking Cleveland was throwing. You know, it would go from 1 year from BG and then whatever, and then half the other side would be throwing whatever Timmy was throwing that day. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy.
I think that also relevates to like the talent pool of each area as well. So like we have a lot of great players down here in Florida. Really,
you guys have a few. Yeah, you're right.
And they're all good enough to say I want to beat, you know, I want to beat Kyle. I don't want to draw him in a blind draw. I want to beat him.
Yeah.
And you know, players being, you know, more competitive in certain areas, you know, it's like I said, that newer fan base, more of a amateur that doesn't, you know, necessarily throw 2 or 3 in the hole every time. He's susceptible to converting bags if he isn't throwing good. You know, as he gets better, he's going to try to find a bag he likes, and you have to persuade those players like, hey, this is the bag for you.
I get that. When you like too, like if I was like a fan to like watching like a game of you throwing, like in not regardless of like the bag, it's even better that if it's a bag company like Swag Bags, but like you have such a good looking throw. You know what I mean? I've said forever, like no homo. You know what I mean? Like you're like one of my favorite throws in the game. Like you do, like you have like, if I was going to like, hey, go watch somebody throw a bag and you want to learn how to throw it flat, Cal Malone. I think you've been my example forever. You know what I mean? And I think I told you this in person. I think I told you when we were watching Harbaugh in the finals this past year. And, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So this has always been. So Tyler, how did you approach this free agency, man? Like, obviously you had Swag Bags last year. What do you feel like you can do to like represent them like as a pro player? Like, what are you planning on doing?
I plan on showing up and showing out for one, and for two, just I was thinking about starting like not tutorial videos, but like guide videos, kind of, you know, and throwing their bags, putting them out there more, shouting them out on social media, just getting out there, deep runs in the tournaments, throwing their bags, get their name out there more, as well as them getting my name out there more. It's like a deal for deal type of thing.
I know you guys are obviously like newer partners, right? Like this relationship is new. I'm assuming you guys haven't gotten a chance to like throw together.
No, we have not. No.
Talking wise, like have you guys like talked about like goals for the season? Like where you guys would like to finish? Like your kind of your obviously number one's easy, but let's, I mean, like what realistically, like where would you be happy if you guys finished?
We haven't really went that deep in a conversation about that yet, I'm going to be honest, but
okay.
I'm not really too worried about it because I know how well I can throw, and I know he's a veteran, how well he can throw. So I'm not too worried about it.
All right. So so 30th.
30th?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't like the sound of that.
All right. We'll go 25.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going.
All right.
It's got to be at least 20 because that's how many doubles teams are going to take.
Somewhere around there.
Okay.
So
all right. So that is like the kind of the target goal is like just at least get to 20 if nothing else.
Oh no. My personal opinion is you shoot high, and if you miss low, you're not missing as low. So
no, and I completely understand that.
We stress about making it. Yeah. I want to go in and know that. And I know with Tyler, I know we're going to be a top 20 team.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm ready to watch it.
And,
I'm beyond excited.
I'll say it top 10.
Top 10?
Okay.
Top
10.
I like the sound of that.
A little side note for everybody: I have a good track record with rookies.
You do. You do have a good track record with rookie.
Also that aspect too.
Yeah.
May or may not have won a national with one a couple years ago.
Two of them.
Yeah, 2 of them. Yes, correct. And now his back is healed after carrying Harbaugh last year, so we can.
Very true.
His injuries are done. So.
Oh boy.
Anyways, all right. So Dane, I think Dane has some random stuff that I'm just gonna let him just.
I think we have time. I think one tier talk.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll round it out well.
Okay.
And I think it's one that really speaks on everyone's personality. So we're gonna start with Chauncey.
Oh, I like this.
All right. I want you to give me an honorable mention and a 3, 2, 1 of your favorite condiments
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna write mine down here.
I know my number one. So let me work backwards. So what condiments are we labeling these as more like, let's just say a sauce, so like let's say like a ketchup or something, something like that,
I
or are
think-
we talking like a topping, like a jalapeno?
No, I think sauces. It's
I
more
think
what
we're
I had,
we're gonna go with sauces. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so honorable mention would be ranch.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's a popular, and you could make an argument for a Mount Rushmore out of ranch, but I'm more of a dipper with that.
Fair enough.
So that's why it's the honorable mention and not the solid top three. But number three, I would probably say some sort of like sweet and spicy.
Okay.
Like one of those kind of combos,
Okay.
like a sweet heat, whatever you want to call it.
Like a
number
barbecue
two-
sauce.
Yeah, but see, I was gonna say like barbecue in general is my number two.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
Think of almost like sometimes when you get like Chinese
Like
food,
honey-
Oh yeah,
honey
I get
jalapeno.
that. Oh yeah.
it's a little sweet but a little bit spicy. Two is gonna be barbecue, but number one all day, Frank's Red Hot sauce. Put that shit on anything.
Wow.
All right.
Sponsor.
That's number one.
Where's his sponsorship? Jesus, that was beautiful.
I know, right?
Wow. Okay.
I'll put it on my jersey. I mean, no one will see it, but I'll put it on my jersey, Frank.
All right, Tyler. What about you?
I have got to go with ranch for my number one. I could
Ooh.
drink ranch out of the thing itself. Like I really
man.
could.
Are you like a big
I'm
like
telling
chicken
you,
tenders
ranch
guy?
is where it's at.
Are you a big chicken tenders guy?
Yeah. I'll
All
go to a steakhouse and order chicken tenders, man.
All
I'm
right.
telling you, ranch with everything.
Fair enough. All right.
Hey, after we win a national, bro,
You got to make him eat a
taking you
steak.
You're
Take me to a steakhouse, man. I'm telling you, I'm getting chicken tenders.
Hey, he's a cheap date. That's why I signed him. I took him out for a steak dinner. He orders chicken tenders.
Fair enough.
Perfect.
Smart.
Yeah.
It's next level.
Well, what else you got?
And then, at number two, I'd have to put number two barbecue, probably barbecue.
Okay. I like it.
Not normal barbecue, the honey barbecue.
Okay, you want
Okay,
something a little
something
sweeter.
sweet.
All right.
It's a little different. Yeah, it's pretty much the same, but a little bit different, a little sweeter.
I got you. What's your number three?
Oh, number three. The thing. Probably sweet and sour.
Ooh, sweet and sour. All right.
Sweet and sour, yep.
All right. Fair enough. All right. I'm seeing a theme of all things that
Yeah.
nuggets can be dunked into.
I was dipping nuggets in sweet and sour before he was born.
Yeah. Back when it was cool. You know what I
Man,
mean?
y'all are not gonna get away from these age jokes.
No.
Sorry, I wasn't born in Vietnam.
Yeah. Well. Ooh.
We were neither. I was born in the U.S. of A. Thank you very much.
Reagan administration. God damn it. All right, Kyle. What about you?
I think I'm going to hurt a few feelings with mine after hearing those.
Oh no.
So my honorable mention, just because it doesn't go on everything,
Okay.
blue cheese.
All right.
Oh, okay.
It cannot be good chunky blue cheese, in my opinion.
Wow.
I'm
All right,
sorry.
you're right up Dane's alley.
But-
All right.
Do like me some blue cheese.
Fair enough.
At number three, I go ketchup, just because,
Oh,
like I
it's
said, it
staple.
doesn't
I get
go on
that.
everything, but like burgers, fries, your basics, it goes on most everything.
I get it. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with it. Like if they don't give me my sauce at McDonald's, I'll just throw some ketchup on there.
All right. Fair enough.
I agree with Tyler on barbecue sauce at number two, though.
Okay.
But I like a mild barbecue sauce.
Okay. I get that.
And then my number one is I love cane sauce, man. I keep it in my fridge,
Really?
All
Okay.
and I dip everything in it.
What is cane sauce?
I mean,
It's like mayo, ketchup, soy sauce,
Yeah,
garlic
like
powder,
the
and
whole
pepper.
bunch of
all
shit
together.
together.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen the recipe because I know the recipe is like out there, but yeah, no, I agree. I'm with you.
it's good. Yeah.
I make it all the time.
The best part about
myself.
my wife being pregnant was that she was like mildly addicted to canes. And like there was one that just opened up down the street. So like it was like every night I'd be
Bingo.
driving home from practice. She's like, "Can you stop?" I'm like, "Yeah, I already stopped. Like I'm almost home." Like, like
I already got it.
I already know.
I'm eating the toast for you.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Correct. All right, yeah. What's your order at Canes? What's your order at Canes?
Oh, they got chicken tenders.
Well, I know, but like, so like if you're ordering Canes, like for me, well, I don't want to spoil it. What how would you order it?
I would probably just get like a 3-piece tender and fries, and then I get like 2 extra pieces of bread.
All right, then you're fine. We get along fine. Yeah, I'm saying hold the slaw, give me extra Texas toast. Yeah, don't let's be serious right now for sure.
Need shredded vegetables
For sure. All right, so mine is my honorable mention. I'm gonna go with honey mustard.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like it's pretty versatile. It doesn't give it enough love.
It
You
is
can
a
put
good
it
one.
on a sandwich. You can dip nuggets into it or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty versatile. My number 3, because again, versatility, salad, nuggets, whatever, is ranch, right? Like I feel like it's just pretty safe.
Yeah.
My number 2 is garlic parm.
Okay, like the Buffalo Wild
right.
Wings.
Yeah,
sauce or
something like
that?
similar to that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I love a good garlic parm sauce. Like, oh my God. And my number 1 is barbecue. But like I'm more of a spicy, like smoky barbecue. Like
Yeah.
I'll do something sweet if it's there, but like I'm mostly like I almost want to hurt a little bit.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
You want to feel it. You
Dude,
wanna
and it's
feel it
weird,
that
the
night
older-
and the next day.
The older I get, the spicier I want everything
For
to be.
sure. I'm there with
it's
you.
so weird. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, what's yours?
All right, so honorable mention, I'm gonna go tartar sauce. I love me some tartar sauce with like fish and chips and stuff, and I eat a lot of fish, so tartar sauce for sure. I do like me tartar sauce.
Okay, so we're going the not so versatile method here. Okay,
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm just going with what I like, guys. This is my tier.
This
all
is
right?
your, you're right.
Because number 3, I'm gonna go with soy sauce. Another one.
Wow.
Do a lot of sushi
Okay.
and stuff. Like soy sauce goes very well with fish as well. I like it. Number 2, it's got to be the and it's not tochi. It's a Cholula, but the Chipotle
Okay.
hot sauce.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
It's got a nice smokiness to it, and then
Which color is that one? Is
it's
it
the darker one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the almost brown brick red, if you will.
Yeah.
Then I hate to say it, but we're the same for number 1, barbecue sauce, baby. Like I like it all. Any kind of barbecue sauce. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm here for it.
Slather me up.
Yep. Never met one I didn't like.
Just I mean,
Why
it's
not?
obviously it was the one that was on all of our lists. So
Yeah.
I feel like
Barbecue sauce is king, baby.
I feel like a barbecue
Gotta
was
be.
clearly the winner of this one. So but I want to thank you guys for joining. This is awesome. Chauncey, thanks for reaching
Appreciate you
out,
guys.
putting this all together. This has been fun. Kyle, I'm happy that you're not retiring. It's good.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back, honestly. I'm ready to see what this year and going forward has. I was a little skeptical, but I'm happy to be back ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, you're one of the
Oh, yeah.
recognizable names and faces in the game. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't think it's ever a good thing for a sport when someone, like, I mean, I don't think there's, like, a cornhole prime. You know what I mean? It's not like other games. Like, you know, no, that's not a shot at him, but, like, Damon Dennis is still around kicking ass. You know what I mean? So, like, there's obviously a very long window for us. But, you know, you don't like to see someone when we're hoping that the game is getting better overall. It's not good to see one of our best players, you know, step away. So,
Yeah, I've talked to Damon a lot, and we agree that it's been a long ride, and you know to still be around is good.
well, it's a
shows lot.
grind. It is. I completely agree. I give you guys travel all over the country. I get it, man. It's not easy, and I tip my cap to you guys every single season because, you know, and it's not getting easier. You know what I mean? Like, you guys got a lot of events to go to this year, man. You know what I mean? Like, at least you can, there's some flexibility a little bit. It seems like they're giving, I think you guys only got to make 4 of the 6 signature series and stuff like that. So, but still, you got to go to 4. I mean, that's still a lot.
And there's no broadcasts at other events either. They're all the same event.
Yeah.
No stretch at 2 weeks out.
Yeah, they had to do that after
is-
last year.
yeah.
They had to.
I agree. It was a lot. It was very time consuming.
It was. Tyler, man, it was nice to meet you. We hope you
Hey,
kick
thank
ass
y'all
this year,
for
man.
having me. Thank you.
Of course,
And I
man.
can't wait to see what me and Kyle can do in the 2025 season.
Oh yeah, we'll see you
yeah.
guys. We'll see you guys at some of the opens. I think we're planning on going to the Hamilton Open. It's not too far away. It's like 3-4 hours from us, so
Okay.
we'll definitely hit that one up. So we'll meet you guys there for sure.
Yep. For sure.
All right, so we'll let the folks go at home. We'll have you guys hang on just for a minute. But as always, we hope you throw it straight. That's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.
Appreciate you guys.